Chapter 2492. Gradually, the two of them began to walk to the sides of the passage. They did not explain anything. Lin Xian and the others did not mind. After taking a few turns, Jingyun and the middle-aged man suddenly slammed their palms on the wall. Boom, boom, boom. The ancient wall rumbled and was filled with cracks. It was like glass that would shatter at any moment. Damn it! What are you doing? Seeing this, the people from the Yin-Yang sect roared. The other people's expressions changed as well. How dare you play tricks in front of me? Jiuxiao Seiko and the big black bull also roared. However, before they could attack, they were shocked. This was because countless cracks had appeared on the walls on both sides. Black fog was coming out of the cracks. The fog was very fast and seemed to be endless. It gushed out from the cracks and covered the entire passage in an instant. Despicable outsiders. How dare you want the treasures of the White Cloud clan? Now die. A sinister laugh came from the front. It made one's scalp tingle. You're courting death. The people from the Yin-Yang sect and the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground roared. The people from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground charged forward. Whoosh! A sharp saber light flashed and cut through the void. However, it was blocked by the black fog. The two martial artists from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground were sent flying. On the other side, the people from the Yin-Yang sect were also blocked. They looked at the black fog in front of them in shock. This was because there were rumbling sounds coming from the black fog. Hideous heads and faces appeared from the black fog. There were even claws, scales, and tails. Demonic beasts. Seeing this, the surrounding people frowned. However, the people from the Fey Imperial Palace sneered. They all had the bloodline of the mutated beasts. They were the least afraid of demonic beasts. Scram! The big black bull roared. His voice was like thunder roaring in all directions. His voice contained the power of his bloodline. Ordinary Fey kings would have knelt on the ground when they felt the power of his bloodline. However, this time around, his bloodline power had lost its effect. The monsters in the black fog were not affected at all. Instead, they let out roars and charged over. In an instant, it enveloped Lin Xian and the others. Miserable screams rang out as many of the Nine Heavens Holy Ground Illusion Destroyer Palace and Yin-Yang sect cultivators were bitten, tearing off large chunks of flesh and blood. Blood dyed the ground red as they frantically retreated. Damn it! One attack after another slashed at the black fog and the monsters. However, the black fog was the same as the white clouds. It dispersed with a single slash, and after it dispersed, it could fuse back together again. It could be said that ordinary swords and sabers could not hurt them at all. Instead, more and more black fog came out of the crack. Damn it, what kind of monster is this? Why can't I kill him? The people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground and Yin-Yang sect were terrified. They kept on retreating while casting out defensive lights. Bang, 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 bang. These monsters crashed into the defensive barrier, making earth-shattering noises. The light defense was very strong, but as more and more monsters appeared, the disciples were gradually unable to hold on. Get lost. At this moment, Jiuxiao Seiko roared. The immortal palace in his body rushed out and floated in the sky, casting down a curved light that enveloped the people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground. On the Yin-Yang sect side, they worked together to cast out Yin-Yang Qi. A Yin-Yang diagram floated above their heads, blocking all the attacks. The people of Illusion Destroyer Palace cast out a picture scroll that wrapped them in all directions, temporarily blocking the black fog. Big Black Bull and the others' demonic aura soared into the sky as they fought against the black fog. No Flower chanted Amitabha and the Buddhist light flashed. It had a natural restraining effect on these monsters. The monsters retreated like the tide. They did not attack No Flower. Instead, they all turned their attention to Lin Xian. Buzz. Lin Xian's dragon sword territory appeared and blocked these monsters. At the same time, he waved his hand. The dragon sword territory emitted sword chi and slashed forward. Seeing this, the people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground and Yin-Yang sect sneered. It was useless. The attacks could not hurt them at all. But when they heard this, they were stunned. Because the black monsters that were slashed by the sword chi were screaming in pain. They seemed to be in a miserable state. What? How is this possible? How can his sword chi hurt them? These people were stunned. They also cast out sword chi and saber chi, but it was useless. Damn it. What kind of swordsmanship is this kid using? Jiuxiao Seiko and Big Black Bull also frowned. They had always felt that Lin Xian's swordsmanship was very strange. It seemed to be much more powerful than ordinary sword chi. That attack power made them feel apprehensive. Who would have thought that it would actually have a restraining effect on the black monster? Brother No Flower, let's go. After killing those monsters, Lin Xian said to No Flower with a smile. No Flower nodded. The Buddhist light on his body shone brightly. The two of them strode forward. Wherever they passed, the black monsters retreated like floodwaters. They did not dare to approach at all. Hurry up and follow. When they saw this scene, Jiuxiao Seiko, Big Black Bull, Yin Yang Sect, and Illusion Palace all rushed forward, wanting to hitch a ride. But as soon as they moved, the black monsters in the sky rushed over, and the black fog surrounded them. Fierce collisions and angry roars were heard. Damn it! Get lost. These people had gone crazy. Especially Jiuxiao Seiko and Big Black Bull. They even used their ultimate skills to kill because they were afraid that Lin Xian and No Flower would take away the treasures. Hearing the screams behind them, Lin Xian and No Flower smiled. It seemed that the black fog could stop the people behind for a while. In that case they would not hold back. The two of them could not help but speed up. No Flower's Buddhist light shone brightly, blocking all the black fog. Lin Xian's sword chi was like a dragon. The terrifying sword chi spread out in all directions, and any black monsters that dared to approach were directly killed. But after flying for a while, two figures suddenly appeared in front of them. Seeing the two of them, Lin Xian snorted coldly. No Flower also frowned, because the two of them were the middle-aged man and Jingyun who brought them in. When the two of them saw Lin Xian and No Flower, their faces were full of shock. Damn it, impossible. How did you escape the zombie beast's pursuit? They were too surprised because they did not expect the two of them to pass through the black fog so easily. Lin Xian said coldly, "There is indeed something wrong with the two of you." He struck out two water swords which shrouded the two of them. The sea surged and turned into two cages trapping the two of them. Whoosh! Lin Xian and No Flower strode forward. This time they would not hold back. They would interrogate the two of them properly. Chapter 2493. Two ocean cages surrounded them, and the surrounding seawater surged. Jingyun and the middle-aged man could not escape at all. However, they were not afraid. Instead they laughed coldly. Ee-ha! Foolish outsiders, do you really think that you can defeat us? Their lips curled into a demonic smile. Seeing this, Lin Xian and No Flower stopped and frowned. What was going on? Why were their expressions so strange? Suddenly there was a cracking sound. The two ocean cages were torn apart, and two large black hands emerged from the cracks in the walls. In an instant they tore apart the water swords. Foolish outsiders, you still want our treasures? Now go die obediently for me. The two of them shouted coldly. The black fog that filled the sky shrouded Jingyun and the middle-aged man. But in the black fog, a pair of eyes opened with a demonic light. Two human-shaped black fog appeared in front of Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Kill. Among them, the human-shaped black fog formed by Jingyun charged toward Lin Xian, while the middle-aged man charged toward No Flower. No Flower snorted coldly, and the Buddhist light on his body became even brighter. There were even runes flashing around him. They turned into mysterious runes one after another and blasted forward. Bang! The middle-aged man roared, but he was not as terrified as the black demons before. He could resist. This scene surprised No Flower even more. Whoosh! Lin Xian waved the great dragon sword chi, and streaks of sword light slashed toward the black fog in front of him. Before he got close, Jingyun screamed. There were a few more sword scars on his body. But soon the fog on his body enveloped the sword scars. Jingyun charged over again. Jingyun's strength was not strong, and he even used his ultimate move, the Seven Evils Blood Cloud, but he was still easily suppressed by Jiuxiao Seiko. But now he was wrapped in the black fog. After turning into a human-shaped fog, his strength soared. His current strength was probably no weaker than the saints. Furthermore, it was extremely strange. It could even transform into mist and evade powerful attacks. It could be said that it was even more difficult to deal with than the saint. If an ordinary saint were to encounter such a situation, they would definitely have a headache. However, Lin Xian was still fine. His great dragon sword spirit could destroy everything, so even if the other party could turn into mist, he would not be able to dodge his attack. Streaks of sword chi tore through the void and transformed into a sky full of sword radiance that enveloped Jingyun. Jingyun's body turned into mist and dodged in all directions. However, the places that were swept by the sword chi still emitted white smoke and miserable screams. Therefore, after the attack, the figure of Taoist Jingyun shrunk. Kill. This completely infuriated him. With a furious roar, the black gas that filled the sky surged. 9 black holes appeared beside him, blocking the sword light that filled the sky. At the same time he attacked again. The great battle between the two shook the heavens and earth, their momentum terrifying. On the other side, the battle between No Flower and the middle-aged man was also very intense. No Flower had a great Buddhist mystique and a mysterious bloodline. Therefore, the suppression of such dark things was very strong. For a moment, the middle-aged man was suppressed. Amitabha. 9 Buddhist runes appeared in the sky, spinning non-stop and emitting golden light. They were like 9 suns that blasted forward. The middle-aged man kept retreating. On the other side, Jingyun was also sent flying by Lin Xian again. The two of them retreated into the distance, roaring non-stop like crazy beasts. Suddenly, the sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. It turned out that the people from the 9 Heavens Holy Ground and Demon Imperial Palace who were trapped by the Black Fog had rushed over. Although the Black Fog was strange, it was still top powerhouses like Jiuxiao Seiko and the Big Black Bull. Moreover, these martial artists from the Holy Ground were not weak. They worked together and forced the fog to retreat. However, they were also heavily injured. Other than Jiuxiao Seiko and the Big Black Bull, the others were more or less injured. When they saw that Lin Xian and No Flower were blocked and did not advance, they all breathed a sigh of relief. Great, it seemed that they had not gotten the treasure yet. However, when they saw the 2 human-shaped fog, they frowned. What were these things? Naturally, they were able to sense the terrifying auras emitted by the human-shaped fog. Damn it, this place was too strange. There were even human-shaped monsters here. Charge! Jiuxiao Seiko snorted. The Big Black Bull also led the people from Demon Imperial Palace to attack. None of them paid any attention to Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Instead, they charged straight ahead. In front, Jingyun and the middle-aged man roared. The fog around them floated, forming a black light that filled the sky. Puff puff puff. Jiuxiao Seiko and the Big Black Bull were blocked. This scene made all the surrounding martial artists scream. The other party had the combat strength of a physical body. Their eyes were about to pop out. Jiuxiao Seiko and the Big Black Bull's faces were gloomy. They finally knew why Lin Xian and No Flower had not broken through and left. Damned outsider, go to hell for me. Jingyun and the middle-aged man did not attack again. They formed a seal with their palms, and the red light in their eyes became more and more intense. Boom. Their bodies suddenly exploded, forming a boundless black fog. Cracks appeared on the surrounding walls again. The black fog filled the sky, completely enveloping Lin Xian and the others. This time it was even stranger. This was not just a black fog but an array formation. Have a taste of the corpse soul array. A cold voice sounded. The array formation was activated, and a terrifying energy attack attacked everyone. Scram. Angry roars could be heard, and the energy explosion was earth-shattering. This array formation was too profound. Although they were still in the passageway, they felt as though they were in another world within the array formation. No matter where they went or how they broke through, they could not leave. They even felt that the vitality in their bodies was being stripped away bit by bit. No Flower's body shone with Buddhist light, scaring away all the black fog, creating a vacuum around him. As he walked, the black fog around him dispersed like the tide, but it was useless. He could not recognize the direction at all. He could only walk in the array formation but could not break through it. Seeing this, Lin Xian said, "Brother No Flower, let's work together. You disperse the black fog. I'll break the array formation and find a way out." Buzz. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He activated his heavenly secret god eyes, and mysterious runes flashed. Whoosh. In the void above them, a pair of golden eyes appeared. Although it was faint and hazy, everyone could clearly feel that a god was looking down on them. As soon as the golden eyes appeared, the black fog trembled violently and almost dissipated. The martial artists also felt a chill in their hearts, and they felt a chill in their hearts. What was going on? Why did they feel like they were being watched? The Big Black Bull and Jiuxiao Seiko also frowned. Their eyes were like rainbows as they looked around. Suddenly, their bodies trembled because they saw the illusory golden eyes above them. It was cold and emotionless like the eyes of a god. What was that? Whose divine power was it? Or was it originally the same as the black fog? Chapter 2494. They did not know, but the immortal palace above Jiuxiao Seiko's head shone even brighter. Mysterious demonic runes appeared on the Big Black Bull's body. Facing the unknown golden eyes, they did not dare to be careless. The golden eyes were naturally formed by Lin Xian. The phantom of the heavenly secret god eyes appeared in the sky and scanned the area below. After a while, Lin Xian smiled. "Found it. Brother No Flower, let's go." Lin Xian began to point out the way, while No Flower was responsible for dispelling the black fog. Finally, the two of them left the corpse soul array. The two of them left. Follow them. Behind them, the voices of Jiao Seiko and the others could be heard. They were anxious and joyful. Jiao Seiko and the big black bull took the lead and followed the path that Lin Xian and No Flower left. Just as they were about to come out, Lin Xian and Wu Hua, who were in front of them, stopped and turned around. Go back. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The dragon sword territory turned into an azure dragon and charged forward. No Flower also sent out a few rays of Buddhist light, forming a golden Buddha palm. Bang! Bang! Facing the two shocking attacks, the big black bull and Jiao Seiko blocked them with all their might. After the two attacks, Jiao Seiko and the big black bull were forced back. In that split second, the black fog enveloped them again. The original path disappeared. Damn it! Damn it! Jiao Seiko's crazy roar came from within the black fog. Despicable human, don't let us catch you or I'll kill you. The big black bull roared crazily. Jiao Seiko's murderous aura surged. Lin Xian, No Flower, I'll remember the two of you. The next time I see you, I'll definitely kill both of you. Frenzied roars rang out, but Lin Xian and No Flower only sneered. They wouldn't care about such a threat. Let's go, Lin Xian said. Their figures flickered as they walked forward. Along the way they didn't encounter any more black fog, nor were they attacked by any formations. However, he did not encounter any treasures either. The cold aura around them became heavier and heavier, as if the two of them had fallen into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. In the end, both of them frowned. What kind of place was this? Was there any treasure? Fortunately, after walking for another half an incense stick's worth of time, something else finally appeared in front of them. There was also an ancient altar in front of him, similar to the one outside. It was just that the scale was a little smaller. A cauldron was placed on top of the ancient altar. It was a bronze cauldron with countless runes engraved on it. Seeing this bronze cauldron, Lin Xian and No Flower stopped again. Their eyes flashed as they looked at each other. To be honest, the previous two dangers were all caused by this bronze cauldron, including this time when they entered the mysterious space. They didn't expect to encounter a bronze cauldron here. Could it be that the treasure mentioned by the White Cloud clan was this bronze cauldron? To be honest, they didn't really want to touch this bronze cauldron. Because of the previous two times, they felt that it was too strange. However, they were still very curious. They also wanted to know what was inside this bronze cauldron. Was there really a treasure inside? Brother Lin, I'll use the Buddha's light to suppress it first. With that, No Flower formed a seal. 9 Buddha's runes appeared in the void and floated forward, revolving around the bronze cauldron. Lin Xian's soul rushed forward and probed it. At the same time, No Flower also used his soul power. Both of their soul power probed into the bronze cauldron in front of them. However, as soon as they entered, their expressions changed and they immediately withdrew their soul power. This was because an extremely sharp sound came from the bronze cauldron. It sounded like a woman's voice, extremely shrill and miserable. This scream almost caused Lin Xian's and No Flower's souls to shatter. Lin Xian's face was pale as he withdrew his soul power. On the other side, No Flower's expression was solemn. What was inside? Fortunately, they were unable to use the 9 Buddhist runes to suppress it. Otherwise, their souls would have been severely injured when that sharp sound was emitted. Let's see what kind of monster is inside. Lin Xian's face was also cold. He opened his heavenly secret god eyes and formed a seal. A pair of hazy golden eyes appeared above him. He didn't use it before because it consumed a lot of soul power. He didn't want to use it unless he had no other choice. However, he couldn't care less now. A pair of golden eyes appeared in the void, looking down like the eyes of a god. Finally, Lin Xian saw what was inside the bronze cauldron. However, he was stunned. Then, the golden eyes in the sky disappeared. What did Brother Lin see? No Flower was also puzzled. There were 2 small cauldrons inside the bronze cauldron. They were sealed and couldn't be seen clearly. However, they should be the treasures that the White Cloud tribe mentioned. There are 2 small cauldrons, one for each of us. However, what was that shrill sound? No Flower was even more puzzled. Lin Xian arrived. It was a human face. To be precise, it was a human face carved with runes. It wrapped around the 2 small cauldrons under the bronze cauldron. If we want to take the small cauldrons inside, we have to deal with that shrill sound. Brother Lin, what do you think? Lin Xian said in a low voice. There wasn't much time. Jiao Seiko and the big black bull would definitely be able to break through the array. Therefore, we have to end this quickly. I can resist the shrill sound, but even if I can fight it, I can't protect my soul from the impact. When the time comes, it might be a lose-lose situation. Hearing this, No Flower smiled. Brother Lin, don't worry. I have a Dharma treasure to protect the soul. As he said that, he flipped his palm and took out a Buddhist bead. The Buddhist bead was crystal clear and about the size of an apple. It shone with Buddhist light and was covered with Buddhist runes. This is a soul-anchoring pearl. It can protect our souls. A soul-anchoring pearl. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect No Flower to have such a good item. In fact, Lin Xian didn't know much about the Western Desert. If the elders of the other sacred grounds were here, they would definitely scream when they heard the word soul-anchoring pearl. Because it was an important treasure of Lanrua Temple. With it, they wouldn't be affected by the soul. Moreover, it was rumored that even if a dead person was enveloped by the soul-anchoring pearl, their 3 spiritual and 7 physical souls would be frozen. There might even be a chance of resurrection. There were many rumors about the soul-anchoring pearl. Alright, let's do that. We'll work together. Lin Xian nodded. No Flower waved his hand and the soul-anchoring pearl floated in the sky. Countless Buddhist lights scattered and enveloped the two of them. Lin Xian felt the golden light and was surprised. Indeed, he felt a mysterious force protecting his soul. This way he didn't have to worry about anything. The next moment he activated the great dragon sword soul in his body. A dragon soul rushed out of his body and appeared in the sky, bearing its fangs and claws. Chapter 2495. Ah! That sharp voice sounded. It was as if sharp sword divine light pierced through the void. No Flower's 9 runes instantly collapsed. Fortunately, the soul-anchoring pearl blocked all the soul attacks. The great dragon sword soul roared, and the dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens. It resisted the strange cry of the human face. Countless cracks appeared in the void and spread to the surroundings. Behind them, inside the corpse soul array, Jiuxiao Seiko and the big black bull's eyelids twitched when they heard the dragon's roar. The surrounding martial artists felt their blood boil. Their faces turned pale. What's that sound? Oh no! Damn it! They're making a move. There must be treasures ahead. That should be their trump card. Jiuxiao Seiko roared. He could not care less about holding back. He had to break through the array. Buzz! Jiuxiao Seiko shouted coldly and quickly formed a hand seal. The door of the heavenly palace above his head suddenly opened, and a ray of light flew out from inside. It was like an immortal light that cut through the void. A large crack appeared in the black fog array in front of them. On the black yak's side, it let out a roar. Its body suddenly grew, and a ferocious-looking bull demon king appeared in the void. The bull horns tore the array apart. Let's go. The big black bull charged forward and led the people from the demon lord palace away. Jiuxiao Seiko also used the heavenly palace to open a path. The group finally broke through the array. They pushed their speed to the limit and rushed forward. In front of them, the great dragon sword soul fought against the demonic human face. Gradually, the great dragon sword soul suppressed the demonic human face. Whoosh! The great dragon sword soul swung its tail and brought out 2 small bronze cauldrons. Great! Lin Xian and No Flower waved their hands and each grabbed a small bronze cauldron. The 2 small bronze cauldrons were very simple and unadorned. They were also engraved with runes and were the size of a human head. They were heavy and no one knew what was inside. Jiuxiao Seiko, the big black bull, and the people from the Yin-Yang sect saw this scene. Their eyes immediately turned red. Damn it, put down the treasure. Jiuxiao Seiko roared, and the big black bull's expression was ferocious. The 2 of them were the fastest and in an instant they had arrived nearby. Lin Xian waved his great dragon sword spirit and threw out the bronze cauldron in front of him. Once the bronze cauldron was thrown out, he immediately retrieved the great dragon sword soul. The soul fixation pearls above their heads shone brightly, enveloping the 2 of them. A sharp voice came from the bronze cauldron and spread in all directions. Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. Jiuxiao Seiko and the big black bull were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. The 2 of them retreated backwards, vomiting mouthfuls of blood. The Holy Land martial artists behind them also paled, their bodies twitching uncontrollably. This was a soul attack. They were terrified. They didn't expect that the bronze cauldron would have such a strong killing intent. This scene was within the expectations of Lin Xian and No Flower. Other than the soul-anchoring pearl, there were very few things that could block it. Go to hell. Jiuxiao Seiko went crazy. How could he endure such a loss? Swish. The immortal palace above his head opened again, and another divine light swept down. This divine light was even stronger than the previous one. What was this? Feeling this light, Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. No Flower's expression was solemn. They felt a threat to their lives. This should be Jiuxiao Seiko's trump card. Trump card? Lin Xian frowned. Jiuxiao Seiko actually had such a terrifying trump card. It seemed like he couldn't underestimate any saint or saintess. Clang. A divine light crashed into the bronze cauldron in front of them, producing an earth-shattering sound. The surrounding void instantly shattered. 3 cracks appeared on the bronze cauldron. So strong. Lin Xian and No Flower were shocked. At this time the big black bull also roared. He pulled out the 2 horns on his head and threw them out. Like 2 heavenly blades they crashed into the bronze cauldron again. Clang. Clang. Bang. Boom. Another 2 earth-shattering collisions. The sacred land martial artists behind them screamed crazily. It couldn't be helped. The sound was too terrifying. Even the big black bull and Jiuxiao Seiko turned pale and vomited blood again. The only ones who were unharmed were No Flower and Lin Xian. The 2 of them were enveloped by the soul-anchoring pearl, blocking this earth-shattering killing intent. The collision of the 2 horns caused more cracks to appear on the bronze cauldron. The human face inside was also torn apart. With a boom, the bronze cauldron cracked open, and a black hole quickly formed. Great, it finally broke open. Behind them, the sacred land martial artists heaved a sigh of relief. But at this time they felt a wave of dizziness. It wasn't just them. Jiuxiao Seiko, Big Black Bull, Lin Xian, and No Flower all felt the same. At the place where the bronze cauldron exploded, a black vortex appeared. It grew bigger and finally enveloped everyone. The world spun. It was as if thousands of years had passed, but it also felt like an instant. Finally, Lin Xian and the others regained consciousness. Buzz. The dragon sword territory enveloped them, and the great dragon sword soul roared. Lin Xian was the first to wake up. Beside him, No Flower, Jiuxiao Seiko, Big Black Bull, and the other sacred land martial artists all woke up. They realized that they were back. They were still in the same secret chamber. The 8 trigrams formation under their feet had been broken, and in front of them was the bronze cauldron with a headless corpse. We're back. We're finally out. The 9 heavens sacred ground and Yin-Yang sect people were crying tears of joy. They felt like they had survived a disaster. Jiuxiao Seiko and Big Black Bull stared coldly at Lin Xian and No Flower. Because the 2 of them were still holding the 2 bronze cauldrons in their hands. What had happened just now? Was it an illusion or did they really enter a strange space? Lin Xian didn't know. They were not injured at all. Even the injured 9 heavens sacred ground people were not injured. This made Lin Xian suspect that it was an illusion. But he and No Flower clearly had 2 bronze cauldrons in their hands. If it was really an illusion, how could they bring things out of the illusion? Therefore Lin Xian was very suspicious now. But the 2 of them couldn't care less. There were too many strange things and they couldn't understand it at all. Whoosh. He and No Flower put away the bronze cauldrons. Damn it, hand over the treasures. Jiuxiao Seiko and Big Black Bull couldn't take it anymore. There must be a shocking treasure in such a terrifying bronze cauldron. And there were 2 cauldrons. The 2 of them each had one. Jiuxiao Seiko charged at Lin Xian, while the Big Black Bull charged at No Flower. In an instant, the battle between the 4 great sage children broke out. Damn brats, stay here. Jiuxiao Seiko charged, the immortal palace floating above his head. But this time he didn't shoot out the immortal light. That must be his trump card and he wouldn't use it so easily. There must be some kind of restriction. Lin Xian didn't care if he didn't use his trump card. The 2 of them fought fiercely. On the other side, the Big Black Bull and No Flower were doing the same. Boom. Chapter 2496. In front of them, the bronze cauldron in the center of the 8 trigrams formation trembled. A wave of energy was transmitted out. Feeling this energy, the surrounding warriors felt their scalps go numb. The warriors from the sacred lands retreated, not daring to go forward. Even Jiuxiao Seiko, Big Black Bull, Lin Xian, and the others stopped attacking. They looked at the bronze cauldron in bewilderment. Damn it, there wouldn't be another change, would there? They felt their hair stand on end. They were not willing to enter some mysterious space again. Therefore, everyone quietly retreated. Crack. Another trembling sound was heard. Lin Xian, No Flower, and the others discovered that the headless corpse in the bronze cauldron moved. No way, how many years ago was this person? And his head was chopped off. How could he be resurrected after being dead for so long? They did not dare to imagine. This was the corpse of an invincible king. Once it was resurrected, who knew how terrifying it would be? No Flower's expression changed. He pointed forward and said in a panic. Not good, retreat quickly. What's wrong? Could it really be a corpse mutation? Lin Xian frowned. He and No Flower retreated to the back. No Flower's face was pale. No, there was something under the headless corpse. What? There was something else. Lin Xian was stunned. Jiuxiao Seiko and Big Black Bull's eyelids were also twitching. They thought that the invincible king's corpse was about to mutate, but they did not expect that to be the case. What was the thing under the corpse? Could it be more terrifying than an invincible king? They did not dare to think about it anymore. No Flower's face was pale. He did not retreat anymore. Instead, he stood there with one hand pointing to the sky and the other pointing to the ground. His body shone with Buddhist light as he formed a strange seal. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. This was the same action that had shocked the 10,000-year-old vengeful spirit. They hoped that this time they could successfully intimidate this unknown thing. Sure enough, once the Dharma idol appeared, the trembling in the bronze cauldron stopped. Boom. However, something even more unexpected happened. They discovered that the 8 trigrams formation beneath their feet had suddenly cracked open, and a large black hole had appeared, swallowing them up once again. Rays of light lit up as Lin Xian and the others activated their king's domains. However, what made them heave a sigh of relief was that they did not enter the strange space this time. Instead, they were once again in the passage. It seemed that they should leave. No Flower bro, let's split up. Lin Xian transmitted his voice. He turned into a beam of sword light and rushed into the distance. There were many forks in the path ahead. He and No Flower each chose a path to enter. You want to leave? Not so easy. Jiuxiao Seiko charged over once again. The big black bull was also filled with murderous intent as it chased after No Flower. The 4 of them moved very quickly and left the remaining Holy Land cultivators in the dust. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 streaks of light flashed through the dark tunnel. They were Lin Xian and Jiuxiao Seiko. The 2 of them, one at the front and one at the back, kept chasing each other. Lightning flashed and Lin Xian's figure appeared in a hall. This hall was very spacious. He looked around and saw that there was no danger. Lin Xian stopped. He stood in the air above the hall and looked behind him. That damn Jiuxiao Seiko. How dare he chase after me? It's time to deal with him. Break. Jiuxiao Seiko also came into the hall. Seeing that the other party did not run away, he revealed a sinister smile. Kid, hand over the treasure and I'll spare your life. If you want the treasure, use your strength to speak. Boom. Lin Xian stretched out his hand. Countless icy auras circled around his palm. It was like a world of ice and snow that mercilessly pressed down. Crack, crack. Countless frost, wind, and snow appeared in the space of the hall, wanting to freeze everything. Jiuxiao Seiko was the first to bear the brunt. Thick layers of ice formed under his feet and on his body. Scram. With a cold snort, endless energy exploded from his body and shattered all the ice and snow. The heavenly palace appeared above his head and froze the space around him. You want to stop me with this little bit of ice? You must be dreaming. Jiuxiao Seiko sneered. Lin Xian did not answer at all. He formed a seal with his palm, and ice swords appeared in the ice. Bang, 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 bang. They pierced through the sky and destroyed everything. Jiuxiao Seiko's defensive barrier was instantly pierced through. Damn it. Jiuxiao Seiko's expression changed. He felt a peerless killing intent. Bang. He punched out and shattered all the ice arrows. But at this moment, the ground beneath his feet trembled and the void cracked. An ice dragon broke out of the ground and circled around him, binding him tightly. The terrifying cold air and icy killing intent spread and corroded his body. If not for the heavenly palace, he would have frozen to death by now. But even so, he and the entire heavenly palace were frozen together. The 9 heavens' divine fire turned into heaven and earth. Flames began to spread from Jiuxiao Seiko's body and burned fiercely, melting the surrounding ice. At the same time, the divine fire formed a fire qilin and fought with the ice dragon in the air. Swoosh. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the surrounding ice turned into ice phoenixes, ice snakes, ice tigers, and all kinds of strange beasts that charged forward. Boom. Boom. There was an intense collision. The divine fire around Jiuxiao Seiko was terrifying. It burned fiercely and blocked everything. Buzz. He activated the heavenly palace and charged forward, shattering all the ice and arriving in front of Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. You want to fight me in close combat? You're courting death. He pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword and used the 5 killer moves of the Wanton Heaven Destroyer sword. Bang, 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 bang. The 5 killer moves all landed on Jiuxiao Seiko, forcing Jiuxiao Seiko to retreat continuously. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his face was pale. The flames on his body were extinguished. Lin Xian was taken aback as well. Even an unparalleled mighty figure would probably be torn apart by his killer moves. However, his opponent only spat out mouthfuls of blood and did not tear apart. His opponent's physique was strong beyond his expectations. "I'm going to kill you." Jiu Seiko was mad with anger. The energy in his body continued to erupt, and the heavenly palace above his head shone with a mysterious light. A terrifying aura surged from the heavenly palace. Sensing the change in the aura, Lin Xian frowned. He had seen a beam of immortal light from the heavenly palace before, and it was enough to threaten his life. Therefore he did not dare to be careless. Whoosh! The dragon sword realm above his head turned into an azure dragon. The realm released tens of thousands of sword lights, cutting off everything and destroying the void. The two divine powers collided in the air, and the sound spread far and wide. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the distance, more than a dozen figures flew toward them. They had just entered when they were blasted back. The energy shockwaves inside were not something they could withstand. These people only watched from the entrance and their faces were full of shock. That was Jiu Seiko, right? He was actually fighting with someone. Was him. Lin Xian, the master of the Immortal Palace. Why were the two of them fighting? This was normal. The two of them had always been at odds with each other. The surrounding people were discussing. Lin Xian's sword energy was so terrifying. There were probably not many people in the younger generation who could release such sharp sword energy. Chapter 2497. It was too terrifying. Many people exclaimed, but the older generation experts were even more shocked. The Immortal Palace was the Nine Heavens Holy Ground's ultimate technique. It was rumored that the Nine Heavens Holy Ground's ultimate technique could create a 9-layered Immortal Palace. What level was Jiu Seiko using now? At this moment, the Immortal Palace above Jiu Seiko's head shone brightly. The energy was like a vast ocean gushing forward. Judging by its power, it should be the 3-layered Immortal Palace. Some experts exclaimed. 3-layered Immortal Palace? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Holding the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand, he unlocked the 2 seals on the ancient sword and fought back. Thousands of rays of light shone, and an earth-shattering sound erupted. The void in front of him shattered and everything exploded. He blocked it. He actually blocked the 3-layered Immortal Palace. This Immortal Palace's palace master was too terrifying. How could his sword chi be so strong? The martial artists in the passageway exclaimed, unable to believe what they were seeing. Damn brat, I don't believe that you can block my second attack. Jiu Seiko gritted his teeth and roared. He activated the Immortal Palace above his head again. At the same time, 9 palm shadows appeared in the sky, surrounding the Immortal Palace. 9 heavens divine palm. 9 resplendent palms floated in the sky and fell mercilessly, directly shattering the void. The surrounding people trembled. They could feel a shocking killing intent coming from the palm shadows. 9 heavens divine palm, another ultimate technique of the 9 heavens holy ground. Together with the Immortal Palace's attack, its power was heaven-defying. It seemed that Jiu Seiko was really angry. At this moment, Jiu Seiko fell from the sky like a god of death. Lin Xian struck out with the 5-element sword. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth sword chi of the 5 elements swept across the sky. These sword chi also caused the surrounding experts' faces to change. Boom boom boom. The 9 heavens divine palm was incomparably terrifying. It fell from the sky like a divine palm that could destroy the world. Lin Xian waved his ancient sword and struck out with the 5-element sword to contend with it. Sword chi and divine light danced, and a terrifying killing intent swept across the land. The two of them exchanged 10 moves, and the 9 shocking strikes of the 9 heavens divine palm were actually completely blocked. Not only that, the other party didn't seem to have received any damage. This time it was too inconceivable. This was a world-shaking divine ability, the 9 firmaments divine palm, and it was actually shattered by 9 swords. No one dared to believe it. Jiu Seiko's expression was cold. He realized that ordinary attacks were useless. Even if he used his ultimate technique, he would not be able to do anything to the other party. Damn it, looks like I can only use my trump card. Kid, I admit that you're very strong. Ordinary attacks and divine abilities can't hurt you at all. However, do you think that's all I have? I will let you experience my true strength. At this point, Jiu Seiko's eyes lit up. His hands quickly formed seals and his body emitted a powerful aura. The Immortal Palace above his head became even more dazzling. Crack. A low voice rang out as a door slowly opened in one of the celestial palaces. What? The door of the Immortal Palace can be opened? What was going on? The experts in the surrounding passageways were stunned when they saw this scene. They had never heard of this before. It seemed that this should be Jiuxiao Seiko's trump card. However, they didn't know what was in the Immortal Palace. Was it going to appear? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He had seen the immortal light in the Immortal Palace before. It could be said that it was unusually fierce, and it made him feel like his life was in danger. Therefore, when he saw the door of the Immortal Palace open, he didn't dare to be careless. The great dragon sword soul in his body circled and turned into a dragon shadow that coiled around his body. Swoosh! A ray of immortal light cut through time and space, flew out of the Immortal Palace's door and charged forward. This ray of light was too fast and too dazzling. Before the surrounding people could react, there was a boom in front of them. Then Lin Xian was sent flying. Heavens, what happened? What was that ray of light? Was it from the Immortal Palace? That kid was repelled and blood was flowing out. He was probably seriously injured. Could it be that he was killed in a single move? It was possible. The immortal light that flew out of the Immortal Palace was definitely a killer move. Even a saint would be killed if he was careless. How dare you fight with me? Now you know how powerful I am. You don't know what death is. Seeing that Lin Xian was sent flying while vomiting blood, Jiuxiao Seiko revealed a cruel smile. He strode forward, and the Immortal Palace above his head became even more dazzling. At this moment he was like an immortal king standing in front of Lin Xian and looking down at him from above. Now go to hell for me. Jiuxiao Seiko raised his hand and endless power surged. However, at this moment Lin Xian, who had been lying motionless on the ground, raised his head. The corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. Not good. Seeing the other party smile, Jiuxiao Seiko's heart skipped a beat. He realized that he had been tricked. A sense of danger welled up in his heart, and Jiuxiao Seiko's figure retreated rapidly. But, however, he was still too late. This was a trap that Lin Xian had carefully set up. How could he let the other party escape? He swung his sword and a piercing sword light flashed. The ancient dragon abyss sword transformed into a giant dragon and slashed out. Blood spurted out, dyeing the sky red, and an arm flew off. Jiuxiao Seiko screamed. His hair was disheveled and he seemed to have gone mad. My arm. What? Everyone in the passageway was stunned. What happened? Jiuxiao Seiko was injured and one of his arms was chopped off? What was going on? The situation changed too quickly and they were completely stunned. In front, Lin Xian slowly stood up. The great dragon sword soul flickered on his body, and there was a ray of immortal light in the dragon's head. It was the fatal blow that Jiuxiao Seiko had delivered. However, the great dragon sword soul had caught it. Therefore Lin Xian did not suffer much damage. The blood was also deliberately caused by him. His goal was to bait Jiuxiao Seiko and make him lower his guard. That way he would be able to succeed. As expected, he chopped off one of his opponent's arms. Damn brat, I'm going to kill you. Jiuxiao Seiko roared crazily. He grabbed the severed arm with his palm and reattached it. His body shone brightly and the severed arm was once again intact. However, Jiuxiao Seiko's face was extremely ferocious. He really could not understand how the other party managed to block his immortal light. Do you think you're the only one with a trump card? Lin Xian sneered. Although the other party's immortal light was powerful, he was too naive to think that he could kill him with that. You forced me to do this, brat. No matter what price I have to pay, I want you dead today. Jiuxiao Seiko's voice was cold, and a terrifying murderous aura surrounded him. The surrounding experts in the passageway were so frightened that they trembled. Heavens, could it be that Jiuxiao Seiko still had a trump card? That was for sure. After all, he was the holy son of the nine heavens' holy ground. He must have many trump cards in his hands. The immortal light was probably not his only trump card. That's right. Everyone guessed correctly. Jiuxiao Seiko did have a trump card. Chapter 2498. Jiuxiao Seiko's expression was cold as the Immortal Palace floated above his head. This time, the door of the Immortal Palace opened again, and an even more terrifying murderous intent spread out. Is that immortal light again? The surrounding experts were shocked. Someone said that it might be two immortal lights? That would be more than double the power. I wonder if that kid can withstand it? Two immortal lights? Lin Xian sneered. He had already caught one, so the immortal light was no threat to him. If I can catch it once, I can catch it a second time. He was not afraid even if there were two immortal lights. Kid, you'll regret it. Jiuxiao Seiko sneered. The immortal palace above his head became more and more resplendent. Whoosh! A figure walked out of the immortal palace. What? A figure? There's actually someone living in the immortal palace? The surrounding experts were stunned. No, it shouldn't be a real person. It should be condensed from energy. That's too terrifying. I thought an immortal had appeared. Immortals are only legends. No one knows if immortals exist in this world. However, the person who walked out of the immortal palace is definitely heaven-defying. I guess that kid might not be able to withstand it. Everyone was discussing intensely. Lin Xian was also stunned. To be honest, he did not expect that it would be a human figure who walked out this time. His face darkened, and his expression was incomparably solemn. That was because the intense murderous intent brought by this figure was even more terrifying than the immortal light from before. What is this figure? Lin Xian did not know, but he felt a chill run down his spine. Damn it. Jiuxiao Seiko actually has such a powerful trump card. Kid, how is it? Are you trembling? Ha ha, this is what you get for provoking me. Even if you kneel down and beg me now, I won't let you off. Jiuxiao Seiko sneered sinisterly. His face turned pale without a trace of blood. Obviously, using such a trump card was a huge burden on him. Now die. With a roar, the figure that walked out from the celestial palace moved. Like a ghost, he streaked across the sky and instantly arrived in front of Lin Xian. With a palm strike, energy whistled and enveloped Lin Xian. With a loud bang, Lin Xian was pushed back, his blood and qi churning inside his body. What a terrifying palm power. Lin Xian was shocked. This was definitely at the level of a saint. Furthermore, it was a very powerful one. If Jiuxiao Seiko attacked again, it would be two saints against one. That kind of situation was much more dangerous than before. However, to his surprise, Jiuxiao Seiko did not attack him. He did not cooperate with the terrifying figure and attack together. What was going on? Could it be that he was very weak now? Or was it because he had used his trump card that he couldn't make a move? Lin Xian couldn't understand. Whoosh! His figure swayed as he used the demigods and semi-devils. His speed suddenly exploded, dodging the attack of the figure from the celestial palace and charging towards Jiuxiao Seiko. Seeing this scene, the celestial palace above Jiuxiao Seiko's head revolved around him, blocking the shocking attack. It's useless, kid. Don't think about killing me. With the celestial palace around, you can't kill me at all. As expected, after Lin Xian was pushed back by the celestial palace, the figure charged over again. So that's it. So that was the case. He really couldn't attack. Seeing this, Lin Xian completely relaxed. Jiuxiao Seiko could not attack. Although he was extremely powerful, he could not do anything to him. You want to kill me with just a figure? What a joke. Today, I'll show you that your so-called trump card is nothing in front of me. Lin Xian's voice was sonorous and resounded in all directions. Nothing? You're courting death. Kid, keep being stubborn. You'll know in a while how powerful this figure is. Jiuxiao Seiko ignored him completely. This figure was even more terrifying than the celestial light and could even kill a successor. However, to use it he had to pay a huge price. First, the power in his body was almost exhausted. Moreover, he could not attack now. Therefore, Jiuxiao Seiko did not want to use this trump card unless it was absolutely necessary. But now he was forced into a corner. Even if he was weakened, he had to kill the other party. Bus. As expected, the figure was expressionless as he charged towards Lin Xian like a flickering light. The monstrous aura made everyone tremble. Heavens, this is definitely the combat power of a successor. This figure is really too terrifying. Jiuxiao Seiko is indeed terrifying. Moreover, this figure is not afraid of attacks or death at all. I wonder how that kid is going to block it? Everyone was discussing among themselves as they looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian let out a long roar and the sword qi on his body erupted. His invisible combat power increased. He held the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand and swept through the surroundings like a sword god. Streaks of dragon-shaped sword qi surged and the sky was filled with sword qi. 1 slash, 2 slashes, 3 slashes. Lin Xian did not waste any time. His combat power increased infinitely and each slash was stronger than the previous one. The 9th slash caused the world to explode. The figure from the immortal palace was sent flying. Countless cracks appeared on his body as if he was about to be shattered. He's so powerful. The surrounding people were shocked. Jiuxiao Seiko's scalp went numb. He did not expect this. His trump card was about to be shattered by the other party. How is that possible? Why is the other party's combat power even stronger than before? He could not believe it. Damn it. With a roar, Jiuxiao Seiko could not care less. His body flashed and he charged forward. He merged with the figure from the Immortal Palace. When the two of them merged, an earth-shattering power erupted and swept through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Whoosh! A crack appeared in the void and Jianghu Seiko appeared again. His aura was much stronger than before. Kid, go to hell. After merging with the mysterious figure, Jianghu Seiko charged forward again. With a palm strike, Lin Xian was sent flying and vomiting blood. This time I won't give you any chance. Jianghu Seiko's voice was cold. He swore that he would kill Lin Xian. After succeeding in one move, he charged forward again. Countless rays of light above his head were like heavenly blades that attacked Lin Xian. The 9 heavens' divine palm appeared again. Bang! Bang! Lin Xian was sent flying again and vomited blood from the corner of his mouth. However, the aura on his body became incomparably fierce. The great dragon sword soul roared. Lin Xian unlocked the 3rd seal on the ancient dragon abyss sword. Do you think you're the only one with a trump card? Today I'll show you my trump card. With a swing of the sword, the world lost its color and the Immortal Palace was sent flying. With the second swing, Jianghu Seiko was sent flying. Damn it! I can't believe he's so powerful. Jianghu Seiko's skin went numb. He turned around and left. He did not dare to continue fighting because he had merged with the figure and used his trump card. After such a long time, he still could not take down his opponent. His opponent's combat power was getting stronger and stronger. He did not dare to delay. If he continued fighting, he would become weak. Therefore, he was ready to retreat. Chapter 2499. However, there was no way Lin Xian would let him go. He waved his hands and the ancient sword exploded once again. A ball of fiery light appeared. A sword shadow descended from the sky and tore through the void. Poof! The sword directly split Jianghu Seiko's body into 2 halves. Blood splattered everywhere. Jianghu Seiko's body floated in the air. Blood and internal organs flowed out of his body. What? Jianghu Seiko was killed. Everyone went crazy. They could not believe it. That was Jianghu Seiko. How could he be killed just like that? If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it. Whoosh! Lin Xian also resealed the ancient dragon abyss sword. His face was pale. He looked ahead and furrowed his brows. That was because he realized that the body that was split in half did not die. Instead, it merged again and was absorbed into the Immortal Palace. The Immortal Palace emitted a mysterious light. It turned into a stream of light and disappeared. Only a voice was left between heaven and earth. Damn brat. I'll remember that sword today. I'll return it to you in the future. The next time we meet, I'll kill you with my own hands. Lin Xian replied coldly. He did not chase after him. The Immortal Palace was too mysterious. He could not break it with his current strength. However, it was enough this time. He directly split Jianghu Seiko. Even if his opponent did not die, his combat strength would be greatly reduced. It was impossible for him to return to his peak in a short period of time. In other words, he had killed a powerful enemy. Whoosh! Lin Xian slowly exhaled and landed. He looked around and said coldly, "What? How long do you want to watch? Get lost. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing you." His cold voice echoed in the void. The people in the passage felt their scalps go numb. Many of them turned around and fled. What a joke. Even Jianghu Seiko was split in half. They did not dare to stay. However, not everyone ran away. The 3 figures did not leave. Instead, they came to the palace. Seeing this scene, the people that were fleeing also stopped and turned their heads to look. What were these people trying to do? Could it be that he wanted to make a move? Lin Xian furrowed his brows when he saw the 3 figures approaching. What? Do the 3 of you want to die? Kid, you don't have to threaten us. Those 3 sword strikes were powerful, but you must have used up too much energy to use your trump card. How many battles do you have left? Do you think you're bluffing to scare us off? Do you think that's possible? Jianghu Seiko wants to kill you for your treasures, right? Hand over your treasures and the 3 of us can let you live. Otherwise, you will lose your life here today. You're courting death. How dare you 3 ants try to snatch my treasure? Lin Xian snorted coldly, his eyes bursting with piercing sword light. Brat, you're really blind. We just don't want to reveal our identities. Do you really think we're ants? The aura from the 3 of them suddenly erupted like a torrent, enveloping the entire sky. This power was simply too strong. This was definitely an expert. How powerful. Who were those 3 people? The remaining people in the passage were extremely surprised. They realized that the 3 of them were shrouded in black mist, and they could not see clearly. They must have done that to hide their identities. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me when you don't even dare to show your face? Lin Xian looked at the three of them and killing intent appeared in his eyes. Indeed, unlocking the third level of the ancient sword had consumed a lot of his energy. However, not everyone could target him. Since you don't want to cooperate, don't blame us for being impolite. The man in black in the middle sneered. He reached out with his large hand and grabbed at the space in front of him. Whoosh! Poof! Lin Xian attacked decisively. He swung his sword and slashed at the large hand. With a bang, the hand was split open. Blood turned into a rain of blood and fell. That person grunted and retracted his hand. Damn it! Let's attack together and kill him. The three of them were shocked. They did not expect the other party to have such power after using his trump card. It seemed that they had to go all out. The three of them turned into three phantoms and attacked in a triangular formation. The ancient dragon abyss sword swept out and forced two of them back. The other person came to Lin Xian's side. Whoosh! A black long sword appeared in the hand of the man in black. The sword's gleam sent chills down one's spine. He die kid. The man in black sneered. The killing intent on his body surged. The sword was about to stab him. Whoosh! Suddenly, his body trembled because he saw a pair of golden eyes. What kind of eyes were those? They carried endless power. In an instant, the man in black was stunned. He felt his soul being sucked into a strange space. Bang! Lin Xian punched out and exploded the man's head. The headless corpse fell to the ground, dyeing the ground red. What? How could this be? How could he still be so powerful? Damn it, it's a soul attack. Run! The remaining two men in black turned around and ran. Originally they thought that the other party was very weak, so they joined forces. However, although the other party was weak, he was not someone they could fight against. Therefore the two of them quickly ran away. In an instant, the two of them entered the passage and were about to disappear. Buzz! Suddenly the two of them stopped in midair and screamed. This scene was extremely strange because the others could clearly see that the two of them did not suffer any injuries. However, the two of them screamed like pigs being slaughtered. It made one's scalp tingle. 3 seconds later, the two of them stiffened and fell to the ground. Their eyes were wide open, and there was no trace of life. Who else wants to attack me? Step forward. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded as he looked around. Hearing this, everyone ran away, not daring to stay for even a second. In the blink of an eye, everyone in the hall had left. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. He took out 2 pills, swallowed them and turned to leave the hall. Shuttling through the passage, Lin Xian found a remote stone house. There were no treasures inside and it was very simple and crude. He set up a formation seal, then his figure flashed and entered the black earth. Hey two, help me watch the situation outside. I want to cultivate. Lin Xian gave some instructions then sat down cross-legged. With a flip of his palm, he took out the small bronze cauldron he obtained. The small cauldron was very thick and heavy. Although it was small in size, it was as heavy as a mountain. It was engraved with rune markings and the top was sealed by countless runes, carrying with it an ancient power. Lin Xian activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul, opened Tianji's body and carefully broke these seals. After about half a day he finished breaking all these seals. Crack! He opened the small bronze cauldron. In the next moment, his pupils shrank because the moment he opened it, a strange pill fragrance drifted out. Smelling the pill fragrance, Lin Xian felt his entire body warm up. The strength he had consumed was recovering at a very fast speed. What a magical pill! Chapter 2500. Just the pill fragrance alone had such an effect. This was definitely a heaven-defying pill. He was also an alchemist, so he naturally knew the effects of this pill. Not to mention him, even an invincible king would be greatly tempted. With a wave of his palm, a pill floated out of the small bronze cauldron. The purple pill was the size of a longan fruit. It was covered with pill patterns and was very mysterious. Lin Xian couldn't understand it. However, it didn't matter if he didn't understand it as long as it was effective. With a flip of his palm he swallowed this purple pill. But as soon as he swallowed it, his eyes widened, and there was even a trace of regret. He was too careless. The power of this pill was far beyond his imagination. At this moment, it was like a furnace of heaven and earth, burning fiercely in his body. That violent energy turned into a turbulent sea, swimming in his meridians as if it wanted to burst his body. Damn it, suppress it! Lin Xian roared and quickly ran the longevity incantation. The longevity incantation was very magical, crazily absorbing the energy in his body. However, this energy was far beyond Lin Xian's imagination. There was too much, like a vast sea, endless. This surprised Lin Xian. He knew that he had underestimated this pill. This pill from tens of thousands of years ago was really too terrifying. The grade was probably unimaginable. Although his longevity incantation was very mysterious and could absorb unlimited energy, his body couldn't bear it. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a fierce light. He quickly urged the Dragon Sword Soul and at the same time, absorbed the energy in his body to awaken. The Dragon Sword Soul was an offensive saint technique with unlimited potential, but it was still in the growth stage at this moment. Lin Xian was now an early stage 7-star, and he could fight against an early stage 8-star peerless powerhouse. If the Dragon Sword Soul went all out, it could even fight against a mid-stage 8-star peerless powerhouse. Although it was only the difference between the mid-stage and early stage, the real strength was worlds apart. A mid-stage 8-star peerless powerhouse could easily kill several early-stage 8-star powerhouses. The gap between them was huge. With the absorption of the Dragon Sword Soul, the violent energy in his body was finally diverted. Lin Xian's body also avoided the consequences of exploding. This made him sigh in relief. He formed a seal with both hands and slowly closed his eyes, beginning to absorb the energy in his body with all his might. At the same time he was looking forward to it. I wonder how far this ancient pill will allow him to advance his cultivation? Lin Xian was cultivating inside the Black Earth. The place he was staying in was very remote, and with the concealment of the array formation, nobody disturbed him for a while. Just like that, he quietly absorbed the ancient pill. On the other side, No Flower had been chased by the big black bull ever since he separated from Lin Xian. This big black bull was an expert from the Demon Imperial Palace. He was very powerful. Moreover, he was not from the younger generation. Instead, he was a veteran expert. His strength had reached the peak of the 8-star beginner stage. Especially that pair of horns, they were absolutely no weaker than a heaven-step treasured artifact. Therefore, the big black bull was very aggressive in his pursuit. However, No Flower was not weak either. As the saint of the Lanrua Temple, he was extremely powerful. His cultivation had reached the early 7-star beginner stage. His combat strength had reached the early 8-star beginner stage. In addition, he had a mysterious bloodline and a precious treasure like the Soul Fixation Pearl. Therefore, when he used his full strength, his combat strength was equivalent to a mid-8-star peerless expert. Although the big black bull was an early 8-star expert, his combat strength increase was not as good as No Flower's. When he used his full strength, he was only equivalent to a mid-8-star expert. Therefore, the two of them were locked in a fierce battle. In the end, No Flower directly used another Buddhist great divine power, the Demon Sealing Mantra. This was a great divine power that was specially used against the Demon Clan. It had a strong restraining effect on the Demon Clan. However, it was very difficult to cultivate. Moreover, once this great divine power was used, it would produce a surge of evil energy. One had to go into seclusion and cultivate Buddhist Dharma to eliminate the evil energy in one's body. Therefore, unless it was a last resort, these Buddhists were not willing to use it. At this moment, No Flower was anxious because he was being chased, so he used it without hesitation. Once the Demon Sealing Mantra was used, the big black bull's strength was sealed and suppressed. In the end, he was defeated and quickly fled. No Flower heaved a sigh of relief. He moved and found a quiet place. He also prepared to open his small bronze cauldron. On the other hand, the other martial artists were looking for opportunities on their own. Of course, most of them were running for their lives because there were too many traps and arrays in this ancient tomb. However, there was one thing that spread quickly. That was, Jiuxiao Seiko was slashed by someone with a sword. This battle was witnessed by more than 10 martial artists from the Holy Land. Therefore, in the end, the news spread. Moreover, it spread more and more widely. For a time, many martial artists from the Holy Land were talking about it. Moreover, in the ancient tomb, the first thing that those martial artists who met asked about was that Jiuxiao Seiko was slashed by someone with a sword. They all wanted to confirm whether this was true or not, because it was too shocking. Heavens, was Jiuxiao Seiko really slashed by someone with a sword? Who was so ruthless? How terrifying. Was Jiuxiao Seiko dead? The people from the 9 Heavens Holy Land would go crazy. Jiuxiao Seiko was not dead. Although he was slashed in half, his body was taken away by the Immortal Palace. He should be able to survive. However, it was not that easy to recover. Who was it? How could he be so strong? Could it be an elder from a holy land? No, it was Lin Xian, the Temple Master of the Immortal Palace. What? The Temple Master of the Immortal Palace? How was this possible? Although the other party was the temple master of the Immortal Palace, he looked like a young man. He should be at the level of a saint of the younger generation. That's right, how could he slash Jianghu Seiko with a sword? Could it be that this guy's strength increased greatly? I don't know. Anyway, I saw it with my own eyes. He slashed Jianghu Seiko in half with a sword. As for whether his strength increased greatly, I don't know. I heard that Jianghu Seiko was chasing after him for a treasure in his hands. Could it be the treasure map of the 6 Dao patterns? No, it seems to be something else. That kid might have obtained other treasures from other places. No way, that kid's luck was too good. He obtained the treasure map of the 6 Dao patterns and other treasures? As expected, it was enough to make people jealous. However, his strength was indeed shocking. The Saint of the 9 Firmaments was so terrifying that even a mysterious phantom had walked out of the Immortal Palace, yet it was still no match for him. Other than the top saints with sacred physiques and divine physiques, no one could defeat him. That was not necessarily true. Although Jianghu Seiko was a saint, he was only average among the sons of the great sage. The other saints had many tricks up their sleeves. If they really attacked, that kid would definitely not be able to resist. Discussions broke out one after another. However, no matter what, the fact that Jianghu Seiko was slashed in half by Lin Xian was still shocking. Everyone who heard it felt their scalps go numb. Chapter 2501. In the end, the 9 Heavens Holy Ground martial artists found out about this. One of the teams had a total of 7 people. 2 elders were leading the team, and the remaining 5 were young disciples. When they heard the news, it was like a bolt from the blue and they were stunned. What? Their holy son had been killed by someone. Was he killed? They were all panicking. If Jianghu Seiko had died here, it would be a big deal. First of all, they could not bear the consequences. They would not be able to answer to the holy ground. Moreover, they would become the laughing stock of all the holy grounds. They would never be able to raise their heads again. Moreover, if a holy son died, not only would their reputation be damaged, but it would also be a huge blow to the 9 Heavens Holy Ground. To nurture a holy son, the cost was heaven-defying. The amount of resources needed was unimaginable. Therefore, they could not afford it. They hurriedly asked around and found out that Jianghu Seiko was not dead. He was still alive. This made them sigh in relief. However, these people were still furious. Damn Immortal Palace, how dare they kill the holy son of our 9 Heavens Holy Ground? Is that Lin Xian? We must catch him and tear him to pieces. Yes, no one dares to provoke our 9 Heavens Holy Ground. No matter who it is, they will have to pay the price. These 9 Heavens Holy Ground martial artists were filled with killing intent. They began to search for Lin Xian all over the world. Of course, they did not forget the most important thing. That was to find Jianghu Seiko as soon as possible. Although the Saint of the 9 Firmaments had not been killed, he must be very weak. If he was targeted by someone else, he would be in danger. Needless to say, there were people who had designs on Jianghu Seiko. After all, he was a holy son with many treasures in his hands. Could be said that he was a small treasure trove. Normally, no one dared to provoke them because whether it was their personal strength or their background, they were all frighteningly big. But it was different now. Jianghu Seiko had been killed. Even if he was still alive, his strength was greatly reduced. More importantly, he was now completely separated from the people of the 9 Heavens Holy Ground. Now he was alone and helpless. If he took action at this time, no one would know, and he could even frame Lin Xian in Immortal Palace. It could be said that this was killing many birds with one stone. Therefore, some people really did have such an idea. The 2 of you don't have to follow me anymore. Go find Jianghu Seiko, kill him and take his things. A young man in a blue robe with a jade-like face said coldly. He stood with his hands behind his back facing the crowd. Behind him, there were 2 mysterious figures whose faces could not be seen clearly. After receiving the news, the 2 of them immediately took action. With a sway of their bodies, they turned into 2 streaks of light and left the area. Jianghu Seiko, since you're so weak, don't blame me for being impolite. This green-robed figure gradually became hazy and illusory. From afar, it was as if 7 stars were connected together. Soon he also disappeared into the void. It wasn't just this green-robed man. On the other side, there was a man whose entire body was shining like a fiend god sitting cross-legged. His eyes flickered, but there was no one around him. His palms were constantly forming seals. Soon, a ray of light rushed out from his body and turned into a figure. As soon as the figure appeared, its body flickered with fiend gods and was then absorbed into his body. Go kill Jianghu Seiko. The figure sitting cross-legged was also surrounded by 108 fiend gods. Her cold voice sounded. The figure of light in front of him disappeared. These people were from the other sacred grounds and they were ready to take action. However, there were also people from the Nine Heavens sacred ground who had the same idea. The status of a saint was very special in the sacred ground. He was the #1 person of the younger generation, and if nothing went wrong he would become the sacred lord of the sacred ground in the future. It could be said that countless people were envious. Normally those holy sun candidates were not strong enough. But now they finally had an opportunity. Since you've been injured, don't blame me for being impolite. This was also a young man. His face was cold and his eyes were emitting a biting cold killing intent. In the next moment his body was wrapped in fog. He also turned into a stream of light and charged out. For a time, many people were looking for Jiao Seiko wanting to kill him. The elders of the Nine Heavens sacred ground were even crazier. They searched crazily and at the same time, sent out assassination teams to assassinate the people of the Immortal Palace. Under their crazy actions they really succeeded. One of the disciples of the Immortal Palace was killed, and 3 others were injured. However, the people of the Nine Heavens sacred ground did not stop there. Instead they became more aggressive. They even wanted to kill everyone from the Immortal Palace. If not for Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu, who were saintesses and had 2 super sacred grounds behind them, they would have been killed. These people of the Nine Heavens sacred ground wanted to attack them. Damn it. The martial artists of the Immortal Palace gritted their teeth in anger. They did not expect the Nine Heavens sacred ground to attack them. What was worse was that they were now scattered and could not find Elder Li Xingtian and the others. The remaining young disciples were also geniuses, but under the siege of the elders of the Nine Heavens sacred ground, they could not hold on. For a moment they could only hide temporarily and send a distress signal to Elder Li Xingtian and the others. However, they were still caught by the Nine Heavens sacred ground. Among them, a team of 7 people surrounded 3 Immortal Palace martial artists. Not good run. When the 3 young martial artists of the Immortal Palace saw this, they quickly retreated, wanting to leave. However, among the 7 people there were 2 elders and the rest were 5 geniuses. Whether it was strength or numbers, they were far superior to them. Therefore, the 3 martial artists of the Immortal Palace were trapped. Among them there were 2 men and 1 woman. The 2 men shouted coldly, "Damn it, what are you trying to do? How dare you attack our Immortal Palace? Are you tired of living? What are you trying to do? Of course we are going to kill you. Your palace master is so reckless, how dare you go against the Nine Heavens sacred ground? Now is the time of your death. Not only will I kill you but I will also kill everyone from the Immortal Palace. I will let your palace master know what regret is. Capture the 3 of them first and don't let them die so easily. I will torture them to death. I will let everyone know that no one dares to provoke us." The 2 elders of the Nine Heavens sacred ground gave the order. The 5 young disciples behind them rushed forward, courting death. The 3 young Immortal Palace martial artists roared angrily. They used all of their strength to fight against it. After a great battle they were defeated. The 3 of them were injured and there was not much strength left in their bodies. "Aha, you still want to fight with us? You are really reckless." A disciple of the Nine Heavens sacred ground walked forward and stomped on one of the martial artists of the Immortal Palace. Buzz. Chapter 2502. Poof, 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 poof. How is it? Have you tasted pain? Kneel down and beg for mercy. Apologize to the Nine Heavens holy ground. I can give you a quick death. Courting death. We, the Immortal Palace, will not let you off. Just you wait. Our palace master and elders will be here to kill you soon. Kill us? Fine. Let them come. We are looking for them. The Nine Heavens holy ground disciples laughed coldly. They stabbed a few more times and blood dyed their bodies red. The Immortal Palace martial artist struggled madly. Not only him but his other disciple was also being tortured. The last female disciple was not tortured. However, the Nine Heavens holy ground disciples were grinning maliciously. "Girl, not bad looking. I wonder how the women of Immortal Palace taste? Don't worry, yours truly will let you have a good time later." At this moment, the Nine Heavens holy ground disciples were no longer people of the holy ground. They were clearly a bunch of beasts. "Ark. We, the Immortal Palace, will not let you off." The female martial artist screamed madly. Her face was filled with helplessness. Because there was no one around her. Only 2 Nine Heavens holy ground disciples were walking towards her. She wanted to escape. However, in an instant the space around her was frozen. The energy in her body was frozen as well. The ones who attacked were not disciples of the Nine Heavens Holy Ground, but two elders. Under the power of the two elders, this Immortal Palace female martial artist simply did not have any ability to resist. She closed her eyes as tears streamed down her cheeks. She regretted not using her last chance to self-destruct. Who knows, she might have been able to drag the two of them down with her. But now she could not even self-destruct. Poof, poof. I love to see you guys from Immortal Palace in despair. This makes me happy. The two Nine Heavens Holy Ground disciples grinned maliciously as they came before the other party. The other two Immortal Palace martial artists who were lying on the ground howled madly. Damn you, bastard. If you dare to touch her, I will not let you off. They were covered in blood as they howled madly. You will not let me off? Ah, you guys can't even save yourselves. What do you have to let me off? Is there anyone else here? This is our Nine Heavens Holy Ground's territory. As he spoke, one of the Nine Heavens Holy Ground disciples grabbed the female cultivator in front of him. Suddenly, a crack appeared in the void as a red light shot out, slapping the two Nine Heavens Holy Lands cultivators away. Endless light shone down as the two Nine Heavens Holy Lands cultivators were sent flying, crashing through the void. Half of their bodies were directly smashed open, blood and internal organs spilling all over the ground. The two of them rolled on the ground, screaming crazily. Light flickered on their bodies as they tried to repair the damage. The remaining people of the Nine Heavens Holy Ground were stunned. The two elders' faces darkened. Their gazes pierced through the void like lightning. The remaining three disciples roared madly. Who is it? Get the hell out here. How dare you attack us? Are you tired of living? Angry roars could be heard. Hope appeared in the eyes of the two Immortal Palace cultivators on the ground. That Immortal Palace female disciple even more so opened her eyes, her face full of shock. Originally, she had already given up all hope, thinking that it would be very difficult for her to escape the clutches of the devil. But who would have thought that at the very last moment, there would be an unforeseen event? Someone had come to save her. Who was it? Was it a strong cultivator from Immortal Palace? The elders of the Nine Heavens Holy Lands also thought so they looked extremely dignified. Damn it, you sneaky bastard, get the hell out of here! Shouted a disciple furiously. However, as soon as he finished speaking, his body was pierced through. A red claw pierced through his back and directly crushed his heart. That person fell to the ground, twitching non-stop. The people next to him were scared out of their wits. Damn it! The two elders of the Nine Heavens Holy Lands roared furiously and threw their palms at the red claw. Dong! An earth-shattering collision sound rang out. Their palms fiercely slapped the red claw, like a golden spear and armored horse. The void around them shattered. The elder took 3 steps back, his face pale. It was as if he had slapped a red mountain. His entire arm was numb. However, what shocked him was that the red claw was completely fine. There was no crack at all. Fuck. How dare you hit Master Long? Do you want to die? Behind them, an arrogant voice sounded, a roar shaking those people. Those people began to tremble, the chi and blood within their bodies roiling. A demonic beast. Could it be a flood dragon? They were shocked. The voice was too strong, like a dragon's roar. It made them tremble. The people of the Nine Heavens Holy Lands thought that the people of the Demon King Palace had come. But soon they were stunned. Because they saw a red silhouette walking over. Damn it! Crawling snake. It was the crawling snake from the Immortal Palace. They were so angry that they gnashed their teeth. The 3 cultivators of the Immortal Palace were excited. Master Long, quickly save us. They naturally recognized that it was the snake by the Immortal Palace's side. Don't worry, I'm here. I won't let you be in danger. The dark red dragon waved its claw, and countless red lights flew forward, turning into a cloud and enveloping the 3 of them. Whoosh! The 3 of them recovered from their injuries. How magical! Master Long is so powerful. The 3 cultivators of the Immortal Palace were excited. They had never seen the dark red dragon attack before. They didn't expect it to have such a magical technique. As expected of someone by the Immortal Palace's side. It was really strong. The 3 of them were too excited. The people of the Nine Heavens Holy Lands, however, looked gloomy. The other party had just appeared and injured 2 of their disciples, and even killed one of them. This method was too fierce. Moreover, what made them more worried was whether the other party had come alone. If the army of the Immortal Palace came, it would be difficult for them to escape. But after looking for a long time, other than the other party, no one else appeared. They heaved a sigh of relief. The The two elders showed a ferocious look. Crawling snake, you came alone and dare to be arrogant in front of us. Later we'll peel off your snake skin. Not bad, your claws are also very sharp. It's suitable to be used as a weapon. Fuck. You dare to have ideas about me? You really don't know your place. The dark red dragon was angry. He didn't attack but waved his claw. 9 lackeys, come over here. 9 lackeys? What was that? Could it be that there was really an ambush? The people of the 9 heavens holy lands were nervous. The 3 disciples of the immortal palace were also confused. Why was this name so melodramatic? Just as they were confused, more than 10 figures walked out from the passage in front. They were very fast. The 9 of them in front even flashed and came to the side of the dark red dragon. Master, you're looking for us? What? Seeing this, the people of the 9 heavens holy lands were dumbfounded. The 3 disciples of the immortal palace also opened their eyes wide in disbelief. Chapter 2503. The experts from the 9 holy lands half knelt on the ground, showing great respect to the dark red dragon. Was this a dream? The people from 9 heavens holy lands were going crazy. What was going on? Wasn't the other party a snake from immortal palace? How could he control the people from other holy lands? Moreover, those experts were half kneeling on the ground. Even the bodies of the great sage lands did not receive such treatment. What was going on? They were all stunned. The 3 from Immortal Palace were also stunned. They could not understand what was going on. The 9 people kneeling on the ground were naturally the 9 experts that the dark red dragon had subdued. These 9 people were stubborn before, but after being tortured by the dark red dragon, they were afraid. This was because they realized that whether it was their bodies or souls, they could not withstand the torture of the other party. Since they could not withstand it, they might as well be obedient lackeys. After all, they wanted to live as well. Catch a few of them but don't kill them. Damn it, how dare they go against me, this is infuriating. The dark red dragon pointed at the martial artists from 9 heavens holy lands and said with gritted teeth. Hearing this, the 9 lackeys stood up. Their eyes were cold as they looked forward. People from 9 heavens holy lands, kneel down obediently and become our master's pets. If you do, I can spare your lives. One of the lackeys said coldly. As he spoke, lightning surrounded his body, and a sea of lightning surged around him. Seeing this, the people from 9 heavens holy lands were even more stunned. An expert from the myriad thunder holy lands. Damn it, why would you submit to a snake? Could it be that you are under an illusion? Or some kind of restriction? They were really shocked. Cut the crap and get over here obediently. Another cold voice sounded. This person was from the 5 Elements Palace. As he spoke, the 5-colored light around his body formed a huge mountain that floated above his head, bringing with it an infinite pressure. People from 5 Elements Palace. People from Illusion Palace. People from 4 Symbols Holy Lands. Heavens. The people from 9 heavens holy lands were going crazy. What was going on? Why did the martial artists from the great sage lands become the other party's lackeys? Cut the crap. Hurry up and do it. The dark red dragon said impatiently. Hearing this, the 9 lackeys didn't dare to hesitate anymore. They all executed their own unique skills and charged forward. The endless thunder sea, the terrifying 5 elements mountain, the sky full of sword radiance, and the terrifying saber radiance. All of a sudden, the 9 experts made their moves and surrounded the people of the 9 heavens holy ground. How could these people from the 9 heavens holy ground withstand it? Of the 5 young disciples, 1 was killed, 2 were severely injured, and the remaining 2 were scared out of their wits. The other 2 elders also had ugly expressions on their faces. They roared and went crazy, using all their strength to stop him. However, other than the 9 lackeys, there were another 5 or 6 experts waiting for them. The young disciples were subdued in an instant. The 2 old men roared furiously. After all, they were peerless almighties with great strength. However, at this moment, the dark red dragon said, "The 9 of you will deal with 1. Leave the other 1 to me." Whoosh. The battlefield was divided into 2 sides. The dark red divine dragons personally entered the battlefield and displayed the dragon's great magical powers. In the sky, countless dragon silhouettes weaved about, fighting a great battle with that elder. In the end, the elder's dark red divine dragon was sealed. As for the other elder, he suppressed the 9 lackeys with his strength. He was strong and took advantage of his injuries, forcing the 9 lackeys to retreat. When he saw one of his companions being sealed, he roared and turned to attack the dark red divine dragon. However, the dark red divine dragon used its great magical powers and attacked. Boom. The elder's hands were broken. He was scared out of his wits. Damn it, this snake was too strong. He couldn't beat it. Moreover, there were other experts around. If he continued to fight, he might be sealed. Thinking of this, the elder roared and tore through the void to escape. One of the elders was also captured. One of them escaped. The martial artists of Immortal Palace were stunned. They didn't expect happiness to come so quickly. Ah, this is great. Looking at the people of the 9 heavens holy ground who were sealed, the 3 of them were filled with killing intent. Among them, 2 of the male disciples kicked the elder's face. Damn it. I'll let you be arrogant. I'll let you attack again. Their feet kicked the other party's face, making sonorous sounds. The impact made their feet go numb. Damn old gang noobs, old bastard. How thick-skinned. These martial artists of Immortal Palace were so angry that they gritted their teeth. They only had the strength of a great being and couldn't break the defense of a great being. However, so what if they couldn't break it? It felt good to be able to step on the other party's face. Sure enough, the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground was so angry that he vomited blood. Their hair stood up, the veins on their bodies bulged, and their bodies were filled with killing intent. Unfortunately, he was sealed by the dark red divine dragon with an ancient seal. In addition, he was seriously injured and couldn't escape at all. Not only that, the dark red divine dragon was still worried and even injured his soul. In this way, the elder completely lost the ability to resist. Come. Don't be polite. Step on me to your heart's content. You can step on me however you want. The dark red divine dragon said very heroically. Sure enough, other than the elder, the remaining disciples also received special treatment. Their faces were trampled into mush. Whoosh. The dark red divine dragon waved its claws, and their faces were healed again. Their faces were healed again. Their faces were healed again. This went on for dozens of times. These people were about to break down. They finally experienced what was called despair. What was worse than death? The 9 lackeys at the side sneered. Now they knew how they were treated. Now they knew why they were so strong. They were going to be lackeys too. No one could help it. No one could bear this kind of torture. Damn it, how dare you touch us? You're dead. The 9 heavens holy ground will never let you go. The elder roared in anger. To think that as a dignified elder, when had he ever been treated like this? What was even more despicable was that a few juniors were stomping on his face. Although they couldn't hurt him, the soles of their shoes touched his face. This kind of face-slapping made him very angry. He swore that as long as he escaped, he would tear these people into pieces. He would make them suffer a fate worse than death. Fuck. You dared to threaten me just now? What's with that look? One of the disciples of Immortal Palace directly slapped over, causing the void to tremble. His arm was numb and the surrounding space was cracked. The elder's face didn't shatter, but there was a clear palm print on his face. Fuck. This is so fucking good. Come, the 2 of you give it a try. That disciple seemed to have discovered a new world and hurriedly called out to the other 2. The other 2 disciples also walked up. They also gave it a try and found that it was indeed satisfying. Chapter 2504. That elder fainted from anger. Damn it, how could they be so weak? The dragon curled its lips and looked at the remaining 4 disciples of the 9 heavens holy ground. The 2 whose bodies were smashed had also recovered. They were extremely weak and trembled as they looked at the dragon. The dragon came to the side of the 2. These 2 were the ones who wanted to offend you? The female martial artist nodded and a murderous look appeared in her eyes. Very well, I'll give you a chance. The dragon waved its claws and a sharp sword appeared in the air. You can turn them into eunuchs with your own hands. What? Hearing this, the 2 martial artists from the 9 heavens holy ground turned green. They felt a chill down their legs and a huge fear appeared in their hearts. What? Eunuchs? Damn it, no. You can't do this to us. Please let us go. You can step on me, but you can't turn me into a eunuch. Do you still need lackeys? I can be your lackey. The 2 of them screamed crazily. They did not want to be tortured like this. One had to know that this was something that no man was willing to do. However, the female disciple's eyes lit up when she heard this. Did you think of letting me go back then? She was not a weak little girl, but an expert who had experienced hundreds of battles. If not for the dragon, she could not imagine what would have happened to her. Therefore, now that he had the chance to take revenge, he would not hesitate. With a sneer, the female disciple grabbed the sharp sword in the air. The aura on her body exploded like a flood. The cold murderous aura pierced through the clouds and formed countless swords in the sky. No, beauty, you can't do this to me. I was wrong before. I was just fooling around with you. The two of them cried as they spoke. We can't do anything. We are also disciples. We can only listen to our elder. If there's anything, you can look for our elder. They were on the verge of tears. Their elder had fainted anyway. He could not hear this. They quickly pushed the blame to their elder. Seeing this scene, the 9 lackeys beside him felt goosebumps all over their bodies. Damn it. This guy is too shameless. How dare he push the blame to their elder? Fortunately, their elder had fainted from anger. Otherwise, if he heard this, his lungs would probably explode from anger. Thinking about how they were treated before and looking at the situation now, the 9 lackeys felt that they were so happy before. It's too late to beg for mercy now. The female disciple did not care. She waved her sword and pierced through the void. One of them screamed as blood gushed out of his vital parts. That feeling of shattering was 100 times more intense than any other pain. Hearing the sound like a pig being slaughtered, the other male martial artists felt their scalps go numb. However, the female disciple was excited. She turned her head again to look at the other person. The man's body started to tremble. He quickly knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. I beg you to spare me, I won't dare to do it again. I'll work like a horse for you, I'll be your lackey, okay? What a joke. Seeing his companion hovering between life and death, he didn't want to suffer. However, the answer was definitely no. That immortal palace female warrior kicked him to the ground, and then brandished her sword. Another blood-curdling scream rang out. The 2 9 Heavens Holy Lands cultivators who had not been punished directly fainted from fright. It was too cruel. They could not bear to watch it. The 9 lackeys also felt their hair stand on end. However, that female disciple from Immortal Palace was extremely satisfied. This feeling of revenge was simply too satisfying. Okay, wake them up. Let them be our new lackeys. Then let's set off. The dark red dragon waved its hand. Immediately, the 9 lackeys woke up the unconscious martial artists of 9 Heavens Holy Land. When the elder and the disciple found out that they had become the new lackeys, they had the urge to vomit blood. Damn it. After being beaten so much and suffering so much, they still could not escape the fate of becoming a lackey. However, they did not dare to resist. They were afraid that the other party would stab them in the vital parts. The group set off again. On the other side, the elder of 9 Heavens Holy Land who had escaped was gnashing his teeth in anger. He was really mad. He did not escape. Instead, he hid and prepared to watch. When he saw that his companions were all tortured and became lackeys, he could not hold back his anger. The elder could no longer hold back and used his trump card. He took out an old yellowed scroll and used his blood to write down names one after another on it. The scroll was densely packed. Blood floated and countless names shone. Then the scroll floated in the void. The elder of 9 Heavens Holy Land formed a seal and burned the scroll. Whoosh! The space cracked open and one figure after another appeared around him. This was not an illusion, nor was it an illusion. They were real people. The martial artists of 9 Heavens Holy Land who were all around the ancient tomb were all teleported here. This was their very important trump card. They would not use it unless they had no other choice. But at this moment, the elder of 9 Heavens Holy Land could not hold back anymore. So he used his trump card. In an instant, dozens of experts were gathered. However, except for Jiuxiao Seiko, the others who had written their names all appeared. What was going on? Why did they use the blood sacrifice to teleport? When the elders and the disciples appeared, they asked one after another. Could it be that there was news of the Holy Sun? No, there was no news of the Holy Sun. However, the old man told him what he had seen earlier. What? Those guys really dared to do that? Damn it. They had gone too far. Kill them. We must kill them. The elders were mad. They were all filled with killing intent. There were too many experts around that snake. They did not know what methods he used to subdue so many of them. We were outnumbered. We were no match for him. That was why I used the blood sacrifice to teleport you guys here. We have to save our people and kill them all. That snake is very strange. I think he must have some secrets. Capture him and interrogate him. We can control other experts in the future. The elders rushed over with killing intent. Finally, the two sides met. Damn it. Let go of our people. The people of 9 Heavens Holy Land roared. The elder gritted his teeth. His eyes were like lamps. Oh, the reinforcements are here. The dark red dragon sneered. 9 lackeys attack. The 9 lackeys rushed out. But at this moment, the elder who was running away snorted. He waved his hand. Countless 9 Heavens Holy Land martial artists behind him walked over. Each of them was filled with killing intent. Seeing this, the 9 lackeys' faces changed. They quickly retreated. They left after images in the sky. The dark red dragon exclaimed, "Damn it! There are so many of them." Chapter 2505. Among the lackeys, the elders and disciples of the 9 Heavens Holy Ground were crying emotionally. "Elders, save us. You must save us. Kill him. You must kill him. I want to tear him into pieces." They roared madly, but what awaited them was a few slaps. The dark red divine dragon sent them flying, and now you want to escape? They haven't saved you yet. 9 great lackeys, cover us. The dark red divine dragon gave the order. At the same time, it spoke to the 3 immortal palace martial artists at its side. "Let's leave quickly. There are too many of them. We'll be at a disadvantage if we continue fighting." He was a wily old fox. He wouldn't do anything that would put him at a disadvantage. If it was a one-on-one fight, he wouldn't be afraid of any elder. He could even kill them. But there were so many of them. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't do it. So he quickly retreated with the 3 immortal palace martial artists. The 9 lackeys wanted to escape too, but unfortunately, their lives were still in the hands of the dark red divine dragon. So they could only obediently resist. But this time there were too many people from the 9 Heavens Holy Ground. In an instant they were surrounded by more than a dozen figures. They couldn't exert any strength at all. The remaining people were like sharp swords, piercing through the sky and charging towards the dark red divine dragon. The dark red divine dragon roared, and his body expanded. The dragon blood on his body surged, enveloping the 3 immortal palace martial artists and increasing his speed. However, the people of the 9 Heavens Holy Ground were determined to kill them. Moreover, their companions were still surrounded by the enemy. How could they let it go without saving their companions? Therefore they finally arrived at a spacious cave after searching for a long time. Bus. The 3 elders of the 9 Heavens Holy Ground formed seals and raised their hands, summoning 3 phoenix shadows. They covered the sky and covered the entire space. The dark red divine dragon was blocked and stopped. The army behind them charged over and completely surrounded them. "Master Long, what should we do?" Seeing this scene, the 3 immortal palace martial artists were terrified. The dark red divine dragon's face darkened. Beside him, the 9 Heavens Holy Ground lackeys who were tied up laughed maniacally. "Ah! Did you see that? This is what you get for provoking us. You're dead." They gritted their teeth. Finally they had a chance to take revenge. However, the dark red divine dragon smashed half of their heads with a single slap, and many cracks appeared on their bodies. "If you dare to threaten me, I'll kill all of you with a single slap. Damn it, let go of our people." Seeing this scene, the 9 Heavens Holy Ground army roared in anger. This time, there were dozens of them and they were not afraid of any sudden changes. This was unless Immortal Palace's great army also came. However, they suspected that this dragon didn't have any summoning and transport items in its hands. Otherwise, the other party would have called them over long ago. Indeed, Immortal Palace's 3 individuals were also asking. The dark red divine dragon shook its head. This emperor didn't have that kind of thing, but little Xianzi might have it. What should he do? The 3 of them felt as if the sky was falling. However, the crimson divine dragon waved its arm. "Don't worry, it's not that hopeless." He instantly set up layers of array formations, which enveloped the surroundings and formed a defensive barrier. Soon after, the dark red divine dragon said, "Don't worry, although I can't contact Immortal Palace's great army, I can contact little Xianzi. Let him save us. Contact the palace master." The 3 of them were excited. As long as they could contact the palace master, they would be able to contact Xing Tian, Elderly, and the others. When the great army came, they would have hope. Therefore, the 3 Immortal Palace's members were relieved. In front, the 9 Heavens Holy Ground martial artists snorted coldly. "You want to trap us with array formations? You want to call for reinforcements? Not so easy." 9 Heavens Divine Palm. An elder stood out and waved his palm. Light shone in the sky and the entire space shook violently. 9 large palms appeared in the sky and slammed forward in an overwhelming manner. Ping ping ping. The intense collision shook heaven and earth. The bright light screen shook as if it would break at any time. But in the end it did not break. It was blocked. It was blocked indeed. Inside the array formation, the 3 Immortal Palace martial artists were excited to see this. However, the 9 Heavens Holy Ground people frowned. Damn it, what kind of array is this? Why is it so strong? The Crimson Divine Dragon sneered. Idiot, you think you can break my array formation so easily? How is that possible? His array formation skills were beyond the imagination of these people. In addition, he had many treasures in his hands, so the array formation he created was definitely powerful. How could a peerless almighty break it? If one is not enough, then 2, 3. I don't believe that I can't break your defensive array formation. The 9 heavens holy ground people were filled with murderous intent. Indeed, the 3 elders descended from the sky like gods and demons. Their bodies were emitting a strong aura. The 3 of them used their ultimate techniques and attacked below. Indeed, the light screen shook violently. It seemed like it could not hold on any longer. But in the end it managed to hold on. Damn it, he can hold on. The 3 peerless almighties were shocked. This is impossible. At this moment, the 9 heavens holy ground people finally screamed. So what? I don't believe that he can hold on against all of us. Everyone listen up. Attack together. In the sky, dozens of figures flashed and energy surged like an ocean. Seeing this, the Crimson Divine Dragon's face changed. Damn it, do you really think that I'm easy to bully? I'll let you taste some pain first. The Crimson Divine Dragon waved its dragon claws again. 4 killing arrays descended from the sky and shrouded the 9 heavens holy ground. Let's see if you have the energy to break my array formation. Indeed, the killing arrays were extremely terrifying. They turned into a strong killing intent and shrouded the 9 heavens holy ground people. The 9 heavens holy ground people screamed and fought back madly. The elders also roared in anger. Damn it, is this snake an array master? Why does it have so many arrays? Under the siege of the 4 killing arrays, the 9 heavens holy ground people temporarily gave up on attacking and started to fight back. Seeing this, the 3 immortal palace martial artists heaved a sigh of relief. The Crimson Divine Dragon sneered. This is my strength. Do you see? If I use all my killing arrays, it'll be easy to kill you all. He snorted and ignored the people in front of him. Instead, he stared at the 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens holy ground. In the next moment he said coldly, "The 5 of you get over here. Make dinner for me." As he said that, he took out a few demonic beasts from his storage ring. This one is steamed, this one is barbecued, and this one is braised for me. Make dinner for me. Otherwise, I have plenty of ways to torture you all. The Crimson Divine Dragon opened his mouth and spat out clouds of chi that evolved in the air. Tables, chairs, pavilions, and all kinds of exquisite decorations appeared in the cave. Those who did not know would think that it was a palace. The 3 immortal palace martial artists were stunned. The Crimson Divine Dragon waved its dragon claws. Stop looking, come and enjoy. Chapter 2506. This is great. I love to eat. Following Lin Xian and Whitey, he also loved to eat barbecued meat and spirit fruits. If it was in the past, he would have skinned these demonic beasts alive. The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens holy ground had no choice. They wanted to resist, but after a few slaps they screamed in pain. Therefore they could only brace themselves and cook for the other party. Outside, the 9 heavens holy ground experts who were fighting against the killing array vomited blood when they saw this scene. Ah, damn it. This is too despicable. They were risking their lives to fight against the killing array, but the other party was enjoying his dinner so leisurely. Braising and steaming? This made them mad. They were the hunters, okay. The other party was surrounded by them, but why didn't he look anxious at all? They all regretted coming here to kill him. The commotion here naturally attracted the attention of the surrounding cultivators. Those cultivators couldn't find any treasures in a short time, so they all came to investigate. When they saw this scene they exclaimed. More and more people came to watch, and there were about 100 people discussing. What's going on? Are the people of the 9 heavens holy ground fighting against the immortal palace? Sure enough, the news of Jiuxiao Seiko being killed by the immortal palace is true. Otherwise, the 9 heavens holy ground wouldn't be so crazy. Look at that snake, aren't they Lin Xian's lackeys? They're trapped by the 9 heavens holy ground? Trapped? What a joke. They're enjoying life while the people of the 9 heavens holy ground are fighting with their lives. Who do you think is trapping who? These people discussed fervently and they were shocked. Someone in the crowd screamed, "Fuck! Who's cooking for that snake? Are they from the 9 heavens holy ground? What's going on? Aren't they fighting? Why are the people of the 9 heavens holy ground cooking for the other party?" Inside the array, 3 immortal palace cultivators looked around and said loudly, "What do you know? These people are the lackeys of our Lord Long." What? Lackeys? Everyone's mouth twitched. and the 9 heavens holy ground experts who were fighting against the killing array vomited blood. Bullshit. Who's your lackey? Damn it, I'll kill you. Don't give me the chance or I'll make you regret it. They were furious. They were the elders of the 9 heavens holy ground, and yet they had become the lackeys of a snake. Moreover, they were being watched by so many people from the Holy Lands. How were they going to survive in the future? The dark red divine dragon did not care about this. He took out a small array formation and started to contact Lin Xian. Although it was enjoying the show, it knew that the people of the 9 firmaments sacred emperor would still be in danger after breaking the killing array. That was why he had to contact Lin Xian and have him lead Immortal Palace's great army over. The dark red divine dragon began to transmit its voice to the array formation. The formation flickered and the message was sent out. Little Xian, hurry up and reply when you see the message. This emperor is about to be besieged. The dark sorcerer god sighed as he ate the golden roasted meat. How was he in any danger? Ancient tomb in a stone house. Inside the black earth vessel, Lin Xian was cultivating when a certain array formation inside the black earth vessel suddenly moved. Radiance blossomed. Seeing this, He Tu floated over and waved his broken sword to open the array formation. Then the dark red divine dragon's voice was heard. Kid, save me. I'm trapped. These people from the 9 heavens holy ground are sending an army to hunt us down. Hurry up. Otherwise you won't be able to see me again. The dark red divine dragon's voice echoed in the black earth vessel, sounding very miserable. Those who did not know would think that he was being hunted down. When He Tu heard this voice, he waved his sword and floated back to Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian was still cultivating with his eyes closed. How could ruffian dragon be hunted down so easily? He Tu thought for a moment and did not interrupt Lin Xian. After all, this breakthrough was very important. If he could successfully break the array formation, Lin Xian's strength and cultivation would rise to another level. Therefore, He Tu did not have the heart to interrupt him. Moreover, in his opinion, the dark red divine dragon was a wily old fox that had lived for thousands of years. He had the bloodline of dragons and even had great abilities of dragons. It was impossible for him to be killed so easily. He Tu would let him be hunted down for a while. He Tu waved his sword and stopped in midair. On the other side, the dark red divine dragon began to eat and drink after sending the message. The 3 cultivators from the Immortal Palace also ate and drank. The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens holy ground stood by the side, carefully waiting on him. Not far away, the experts of the 9 heavens holy ground were doing their best to resist the 4 killing arrays. Among them, one of the killing formations was sent flying, and the remaining 3 killing formations were also dimming. Oh, not bad, not bad. They actually managed to break one of my killing arrays in such a short time. These people from the 9 heavens holy ground are not bad. The dark red divine dragon nodded slightly as he ate and looked at the battlefield in the distance. Although he had broken one killing array, he was not too worried. More and more cultivators gathered in the surrounding passageways to watch. Even the cultivators who were passing by were alarmed by the intense fighting sounds. They thought that someone had found a treasure, so they could not wait to rush over. However, after rushing over, they found out that there was no treasure. Instead, there was a battle to the death. Whoosh. Friends from the 9 heavens holy ground, do you need our help? More than 10 figures flew over from one of the passageways. They were surrounded by 5 colored light, forming the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. The people from the 5 elements palace were here. The surrounding experts exclaimed. The 5 elements saint was among them. That's right, the people from the 5 elements palace were here. Moreover, the 5 elements saint was leading them. When the 5 elements saint saw this, a fierce light flashed in his eyes. He gnashed his teeth in anger at the dark red divine dragon. Now that there was a good opportunity to kill him, how could they miss it? Thank you very much. The 9 heavens holy ground elder was overjoyed when he saw this. Great, with the help of the 5 elements saint and the experts from the 5 elements palace, they would definitely be able to break the killing arrays faster and faster. At that time, it would not be difficult to break the other party's defensive array. As expected, with the addition of the experts from the 5 elements palace, the second killing array was easily broken. I'll help you too. The 10,000 Thunder Saint led 7 or 8 experts from the 10,000 Thunder Holy Ground and appeared from a passageway. Even the 10,000 Thunder Saint was here. The surrounding cultivators exclaimed, but the people from the 9 heavens holy ground were excited. Great, the 10,000 Thunder Saint was here too. The heavens were really helping them. They knew that the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Ground had a grudge against the other Immortal Palace, especially the Palace Master who was suitable for the other side. Now that the 3 sides were attacking together, how could a small snake resist? Chapter 2507. Sure enough, with the 3 great sage joining forces, the remaining 2 killing arrays were shattered. In an instant, the 3 forces were like 3 mountains, pressing down on the void as they walked towards the Crimson Divine Dragon. Fuck. What's going on? Damn it, 5 Elements Red and Myriad Thunder Sacred Ground are here too. The Crimson Divine Dragon was no longer calm. He threw away the golden barbecue in his hand and floated up into the sky. Damn it, this is not good. Master Dragon, what should we do? The 3 martial artists from Immortal Palace were also worried. Previously, they could still fight against the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground with their arrays. But now, the Myriad Thunder Sacred Ground and 5 Elements Palace were here too. They could not fight back at all. Don't panic. Damn it, these guys dare to come out at this time. Just wait, I won't let them go. The Crimson Divine Dragon would remember this grudge. He swore that he would not let them go. However, this was all in the future. The most important thing now was to solve the crisis in front of him. He must not let them join forces to break the array. Otherwise, his defensive array would not be able to withstand it. It seemed that he could only use that thing. The Crimson Divine Dragon gritted his teeth and decided to use one of his trump cards. With a wave of his dragon claw, another array floated out. However, this array looked very strange. It was like black quicksand surrounding his defensive array. It formed a black circle. The black circle was more than 10 meters wide. It was like a black river flowing continuously, shining with a demonic light. What is this? The surrounding martial artists were stunned. The 3 great sage experts sneered. It's useless. No matter what you are, you can't escape death today. Indeed, they were very confident. Who could fight against the 3 great sage experts when they joined forces? Even the clan of the ancients would not be able to fight back, right? Not to mention a little snake. Go. The 9 Heavens Sacred Ground Elder, 5 Elements Saint Sun, and Saint Sun Wanlei waved their hands, and the 3 great sage experts stepped forward. This time they sent 9 people. The 9 experts' auras pierced through heaven and earth. Their figures were like demonic gods, crushing the void. One could imagine how terrifying these 9 people were. Their figures were like lightning as they flew forward. The energy in their bodies surged like wild beasts, causing people to tremble. Soon they arrived before the black quicksand. Facing this black quicksand, they did not care at all. The 9 of them struck out with their attacks, hitting the quicksand. The quicksand spun rapidly. The black sand was very soft and it absorbed all the attacks. It could be said that these attacks had no effect on quicksand at all. It was as if they were punching cotton. Damn it, what is this thing? The 9 experts frowned and 3 of them snorted coldly. The king's domain enveloped them, and in the next moment, they strode into the black quicksand. Since he couldn't break through it, he would just force his way through. The others were also puzzled. What exactly was the black quicksand? Soon they were screaming. This was because they had finally discovered the use of the black quicksand. The 3 experts entered the black quicksand, and in the next second they suddenly disappeared. Swish, 2 people appeared in the distance of the palace, while the other person disappeared. What was going on? What happened? Why did those experts suddenly withdraw? Everyone was stunned. The people from the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground, 5 Element Palace, and 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground also frowned. What was going on? They hurriedly asked, and the other 2 people flew over from the corner of the palace. I don't know. As soon as we entered, we were teleported away by a force. Teleported away? Could it be a teleportation array? Hearing this, some people turned pale with fright. They looked at the black quicksand and gasped. The black quicksand was actually a teleportation array. Anyone who entered would be teleported. No wonder that dragon was so relaxed and calm. It turned out that he had such a treasure by his side. Yes, if they could not break through the black quicksand, they would not be able to reach the dragon, let alone break through the array. Ah! The dark red dragon laughed loudly. Come, 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 sons of the 3 sacred grounds, hurry up and attack your grandpa dragon. The people from the 3 great sage sacred grounds vomited blood when they heard the clamor. Damn it! Damn it! A snake dared to be so arrogant in front of them? He was courting death. Go attack. Since it's an array, we're afraid of being damaged. I don't believe that he can ignore all the attacks. The 5 Elements Saint looked solemn, and the 10,000 Thunder Saint looked gloomy. The elders from the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground also roared. In an instant, the experts from the three great sage sacred grounds attacked again. This time there were more people, more than 20 of them. They were connected as one, as if they were thousands of mountains. One after another, terrifying attacks were launched. The sky was full of flames, shocking lightning, five-colored light, and a surging sea. All kinds of energy appeared in the sky, shaking the earth and causing the surrounding martial artists to retreat. However, after a series of attacks, the people from the three great sage sacred grounds were dumbfounded. Damn it, this was impossible. They did not receive any injuries. What kind of array was this? Could it be that all our attacks were teleported back? How could there be such a terrifying array in the world? The people from the three great sage sacred grounds were dumbfounded. The dark red dragon snorted coldly. You want to break my world's end near-at-hand array so easily? You must be dreaming. This array formation was his latest masterpiece. Previously, he had read a lot of information about ancient arrays in the Immortal Palace's treasure vault and combined it with his own attainments. Finally, he had created such an array. This array was called the World's End Near-at-Hand Array. It had the ability to teleport people randomly. After entering, who knew where they would be teleported to? Even the dark red dragon did not know. Seeing that the black quicksand had really blocked the people from the three great sage sacred grounds, the three martial artists in the array breathed a sigh of relief. The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens sacred ground were pale and in despair. The 3 great sage sacred grounds combined could not do anything to this snake. How could this be? Could it be that they would have to be its servants for the rest of their lives? No. They screamed crazily in their hearts. This kind of life was worse than death. However, it was impossible for them to die. Because the dark red dragon had started to torture the people from the 9 heavens sacred ground for the 3 martial artists from the Immortal Palace. His purpose was naturally to provoke the experts outside the array. Sure enough, when the 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens sacred ground were stepped on and slapped, the experts outside were so angry that they vomited blood. Damn it! I must kill you all. Let go of our people. They were about to go crazy. This was a slap in the face. The 5 Elements Palace and the 1,000 Thunder Sacred Ground were also roaring in anger. However, they did not feel any psychological pressure. Because there was no one among the lackeys. Chapter 2508. The Crimson Divine Dragon looked at the 2 Holy Lands and sneered. Initially, he did not intend to attack the 2 of you. But since the 2 of you were so reckless, how dare you jump out and go against me? Then don't blame me. 9 big lackeys, get over here. This voice was like a clap of thunder, spreading in all directions. Whoosh, whoosh. 9 figures flew over from the distant passageway. As soon as these 9 people appeared, they half knelt in the void. Greetings, master. What? Seeing this scene, the surrounding people went crazy. The faces of the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunders Sacred Land instantly sank. Their faces were as black as the bottom of a pot, as they realized that 7 of the 9 lackeys were actually from the 5 Elements Palace and the Myriad Thunder Sacred Land. The remaining 2 were from the Tai dynasty. 9 lackeys, I order you to slap each other, the harder the better. If I go soft on you, don't blame me for being impolite. The dark red divine dragon ordered. Hearing this, the people in the distance felt their scalps go numb. As for the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land, they roared furiously. They were really mad. Previously, when they saw the people from the 9 heavens holy ground being slapped in the face, they did not feel anything. But who would have thought that it would be their turn so soon? Not only were the 9 lackeys' lives in the hands of the dark red divine dragon, but their souls had also been implanted with a slave mark. Therefore, at this moment, although they were instinctively unwilling, once the dark red divine dragon activated this kind of mark, they simply could not control themselves and began to interact with each other. The crisp sound of a slap rang out, shaking the heavens and splitting the earth. Those people's faces were shattered in an instant, but they were all experts and could recover instantly. Thus, in an instant, countless slaps were heard. The dark red dragon raised its wine cup and said to the passageways in all directions, "Come, come, come. Today I'll treat everyone to a good show. It's free. You don't have to be afraid. Just enjoy." Heavens, what happened? What was wrong with these people from the Holy Lands? Was he caught in an illusion? This crawling snake was too heaven-defying. Using the people of the Holy Land as lackeys? He even slapped him in the face in public. This was the same as taking the lives of those Holy Lands. That's right, if they couldn't kill this snake, they would really lose all their face. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it even if you beat me to death. Fuck, even if I saw it with my own eyes, I still wouldn't believe it. The other warriors in the passageway were stunned. The people of the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land were furious. The 2 saints in particular were brimming with killing intent. Capture them for me. Hearing this, the 2 elders of the 5 Elements Palace took action. They stretched out their hands and countless rays of light flashed in their palms, instantly enveloping those people. The people from the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land were the same. They had to capture him. Otherwise they would be utterly humiliated. The dark red divine dragon sneered at the sight. You want to take him back? Do you think that's possible? Attack him. Kill them all. He formed another seal, and the seals in those people's minds trembled. Kill. Those people roared out angrily, their eyes completely red. They didn't recognize anyone directly attacking the large hand in the sky. In an instant he had destroyed their attacks. Furthermore, they were charging toward the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land. The 5 Elements Saint snorted coldly as a cold murderous intent appeared in his eyes. He rushed out of the 5 Elements Mountain and blasted it forward. With a loud boom, the 3 figures in front of him were instantly blasted into a bloody mist. Nothing was left. They were directly killed. The surrounding people exclaimed. The people of the 5 Elements Palace were also stunned. They didn't expect their saint to be so decisive and merciless. They had killed all of their own people. They were already under his control. They were no longer his own people. The 5 Elements Saint's cold voice rang out, making everyone's scalp tingle. On the other side, the 10,000 Thunder Saint also made his move. An ice thunder divine spear pierced through the 4 directions, nailing the people who had just arrived to the void. In an instant, the 9 lackeys were mercilessly killed by the 2 great sages' sons. Blood rained down from the sky. When the people of the Immortal Palace saw this scene, they were extremely shocked. The dark red divine dragon also frowned. He sneered. How shameless. They even killed their own people. To be honest, he didn't expect the 2 saints to be so ruthless. When the people of the 9 Heavens Holy Land saw this scene, a hint of madness appeared in their eyes. Among them, a few of the palaces discussed and decided to attack. Those people probably wouldn't survive. Otherwise, if they used them now, they might be able to break the array. The few old men nodded. In the next moment, they suddenly formed seals and a strange aura exuded from their bodies. Not good. The dark red divine dragon's face changed. Damn. You guys are too shameless. He roared and completely distanced himself from the 5 lackeys of the 9 Heavens Holy Land. At the same time, his body expanded and turned into a huge dragon, enveloping the 3 martial artists of the Immortal Palace. Boom, boom, boom. The 5 lackeys of the 9 Heavens Holy Land suddenly exploded. Violent energy swept out in all directions. Everything was annihilated. The light shone brightly and the energy surged. What happened? The surrounding people were stunned. They didn't expect the 5 lackeys of the 9 Heavens Holy Land to suddenly explode. What was going on? Could it be that the people of the 9 Heavens Holy Land had done it? They looked at the sky. Indeed, the 9 Heavens Holy Land's elders looked extremely cold. There was still a lingering fierce aura on their bodies. It was indeed them who had done it. It seemed that the 9 Heavens Holy Land was also ruthless. The people of the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Saint Land were overjoyed. That's great. This energy will definitely be able to tear apart the array formation. He might even be able to kill that snake. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the front. There were countless cracks on the defensive array in front of them. Some parts were even broken and several black holes appeared. Great. The array was broken. They wondered how the snake was doing. They looked over. However, at this moment, a scream came from within the light. Damn. It hurts. Who the fuck did it? Don't let me catch you. Otherwise I'll kill you. The scream made everyone's scalp tingle. What? That guy didn't die. However, judging by the scream, even if he didn't die, he was half dead. The people of the 9 Heavens Holy Land sneered. Great. As long as they could injure the other party, it would be much easier to capture him. However, when the light that filled the sky disappeared, they were dumbfounded. What was going on? Impossible. The other party was unharmed. How was this possible? They were all crazy. They realized that the other party's body was black as if he had been struck by lightning. However, there were no cracks on the other party's body. There was no blood flowing out. The other party was not injured. Damn it. What kind of physique was that? Even the holy son of the Demon King Palace didn't have such a physique. Chapter 2509. The people from the Nine Heavens sacred ground went crazy. They didn't expect the snake's body to be so strong. The dark red dragon grimaced in pain. Although it didn't crack, the pain was very obvious. He stared at the Nine Heavens sacred ground. Damn it, I'm going to roast you all later. You don't even have an array and you still dare to be arrogant? The Five Elements Saint sneered. Kill. Countless people charged forward. However, although the defensive array was broken, the world's end near-at-hand array was still intact. This made everyone frown again. Don't worry, we also have array masters on the way here. The people from the Five Elements Palace and 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground spoke. Hearing this, the people from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground's eyes lit up. They already had array masters in their team. However, it would take a lot of time to break the array. But now, the other two sacred grounds had also sent array masters. With the three of them working together, they didn't believe that they couldn't break it. Moreover, they were really jealous of this array. If they could master it, it would definitely be a heaven-defying defensive method. Sure enough, after waiting for half a day, figures appeared in the passage. The array masters from the Five Elements Palace and 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground had arrived. 4 white-haired old men walked over shakily. They looked at the black quicksand in the sky, their eyes shining. On the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground side, an array master also walked out. The 5 array masters came forward together, ready to break it. Heavens, this is a teleportation. How did this snake do it? It's too exquisite. It definitely didn't make it. I think it must have gotten a treasure in this ancient tomb. The 5 array grandmasters said. They didn't think that the black quicksand was made by the snake. Moreover, it didn't matter whether it was made or not. They had to work together to break it. With the 5 array masters working together, it was indeed very powerful. The dark red dragon and the 3 members of the Immortal Palace were in danger again. One could imagine that once the world's end near-at-hand array was broken, what awaited them was the merciless killing of the 3 great sage. Little Shin, where the hell are you? Come quickly. The dark red dragon took out the array disc again and sent a message. Black Earth. Lin Shin opened his eyes. A vast aura erupted from his body, like 100,000 volcanoes erupting at the same time. Violent energy blasted out in all directions. Fortunately, he was now in the cultivation room of the Black Earth, so he didn't cause any impact to the interior of the ship. Middle stage 7 star. Lin Xian stood up and clenched his fists. His eyes shone with a sharp light. He was too excited. You've broken through. The black soil floated in. Lin Xian grinned and asked, how many days has it been? 7 days. 7 days. Lin Xian took a deep breath, his heart filled with excitement. In just 7 days he had advanced from early 7 star to middle 7 star. No one would believe him if he told others about it. One had to know that under normal circumstances, it would take 1 to 200 years for a King Realm cultivator to break through from primary to intermediate King Realm. As for him, he only needed 7 days. And it was done. This was absolutely heaven-defying. Of course, all of this was due to the ancient medicinal pill. What surprised him even more was that not only did he make a breakthrough in his cultivation, but his great dragon sword soul had also awakened further. Now, his battle prowess was equivalent to a mid-8 star peerless cultivator. If the great dragon sword soul went all out and unleashed its maximum battle prowess, he would be able to contend with a late 8 star peerless cultivator. This didn't include his trump cards such as the Black Earth and the Saint's Hand Bone. If he used those trump cards, he could even kill a late 8 star peerless cultivator. This filled Lin Xian with confidence. According to his estimation, he had only explored half of the saint's tomb. There should be even more heaven-defying treasures in the latter half of the tomb. Right, there shouldn't be anything happening these few days, right? Lin Xian asked. Ruffian Dragon sent me 2 distress signals, but I saw that you were cultivating, so I didn't interrupt you. Distress signals? Lin Xian frowned. What's going on? Listen to it. He Tu took the disc array over and Lin Xian listened to it. It was indeed sent by Ruffian Dragon. He frowned. He knew the strength of the dark red divine dragon. It was at the level of a saint. Even the other saints wouldn't be able to do anything to it. But now it had sent a distress signal. This meant that it was in danger. When he heard the second piece of information, he understood. The myriad Thunder Sacred Ground, 5 Elements Palace, and 9 Heavens Sacred Ground were really courting death. He Tu, use the array to lock onto Ruffian Dragon's position and fly over. No problem, leave it to me. He Tu started to control it. Soon the Black Earth flew over like a ray of light. On the other side in the main hall, the world's end near-at-hand array had already dimmed. It was gradually being suppressed by the 5 top-notch array masters. 5 or 6 days have already passed. Why isn't Lin Xian here yet? Could there have been an accident? The Crimson Divine Dragon looked at the scene around him with a gloomy expression. If Lin Xian didn't come, it would be in trouble. It estimated that its world's end near-at-hand array could only last for 2 or 3 days. After 2 or 3 days, it might be broken by the enemy. At that time, it would be difficult for it to deal with the enemy's army. Even if it could escape, it would be severely injured. That was not what it wanted. Another day passed. The 5 array masters were excited because they felt that they would be able to break the array one day. The people from 9 Heavens Sacred Ground, 5 Elements Palace, and 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground were also excited. Their eyes shone with a sharp light. Crawling snake, prepare to die. The people from 5 Elements Palace sneered. The people from 9 Heavens Sacred Ground gritted their teeth. Suddenly, 7 or 8 rays of light came from afar. These 7 or 8 rays of light were very fast. There was a floating immortal palace on top of them, shining with thousands of rays of light. The people from 9 Heavens Sacred Ground were here. Could those immortal palaces belong to Jiuxiao Seiko? Sure enough, the people from 9 Heavens Sacred Ground all turned their heads. But their eyes shone with a sharp light as they went up to greet them. How was it? Did you find the saint? They asked anxiously. However, the 7 or 8 people who came had ugly expressions. Some of the elders even cried. We are guilty. The saint was killed. What? The saint was killed? How could this be? Didn't they say that the immortal palaces took him away after he was struck? This news was like a bolt from the blue, and it stunned the people from 9 Heavens Sacred Ground. The people from 5 Elements Palace, 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground, and the surrounding people were all stunned. Especially the 5 Elements Saint and 10,000 Thunder Saint, their faces were ugly. They were holy sons themselves, so they knew how difficult it was to kill a holy son. But now Jiuxiao Seiko was killed. What was going on? Was Jiuxiao Seiko really killed? By who? Could it be Lin Xian? In the distance, the 5 array grandmasters stopped what they were doing and frowned. The dark red divine dragon laughed. Ah, I'm dying of laughter. Who asked you to be so arrogant and find trouble with me? How was it? The saint was struck by someone. He was too happy. He was annoyed that he had been trapped here for the past few days. Now that he heard the news, it was as if he had eaten an iced watermelon in the summer. The 3 martial artists from immortal palaces also felt their eyelids twitching. Could it be the temple master? Chapter 25:10. Damn it! Is it that Lin Xian? The elders of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground roared. Their eyes were red, and their bodies were filled with killing intent. It was as if they had turned into demons. This news was too much for them to bear. Impossible. This is impossible. Among them, an elder in a white robe roared. Damn it. Another elder went crazy. No, I believe. A few elders cried. Their tears turned into blood rain and scattered in the air. Not good. Retreat. The faces of the surrounding martial artists all changed. That was because they could feel a shocking killing intent coming from the front. Buff, buff. Those who were slow in running were directly blasted away. Many of them were pierced by the killing intent. Defend. Even the people of the 5 Elements Palace and the 1,000 Thunder Sacred Ground on the side were holding up their domains and armors as they retreated. They realized that the people of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground had really gone crazy. Kill, kill, kill. The killing intent of those experts pierced through the sky. With the immortal palace around, how could he be killed? An elder questioned. This immortal palace was a supreme treasure. However, the 7 or 8 experts who rushed over gritted their teeth. We don't know. When they arrived, only the immortal palace was left. Jiuxiao Seiko's storage ring was gone. All the treasures on him were plundered. His body was split in half, and his soul was completely destroyed. There was no way he could survive. As for the murderer, we don't know. These elders' faces were extremely ugly. If this news were to spread to the sacred ground, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. One had to know that the sacred ground had paid a huge price to cultivate a saint. But now he had fallen in this ancient tomb. This was definitely a huge earthquake. Find the murderer. We must find the murderer. Cut him into pieces. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer to the sacred ground. These elders had really gone crazy. Among them, many turned their heads and stared at the dark red dragon. It's them. It must be the people of the immortal palace. Kill this snake. Kill that Lin Xian. Kill everyone from the Immortal Palace. Avenge our saint. Fuck, what nonsense are you spouting? The dark red divine dragon was shocked. Which fucking eye did you see us do it? Killing the saint was also a big deal, and the dark red divine dragon was unwilling to admit it. It's you? No matter what, Lin Xian must die. If it were not for him, the Holy Sun would not have been injured, and no one would have dared to attack the Holy Sun. Therefore the main culprit was still Lin Xian. Kill. These people roared crazily and attacked like crazy. However, due to the presence of the World's End near-at-hand formation, those attacks were all teleported away. However, these people had gone crazy. Dozens of Nine Heavens Holy Ground cultivators attacked without any regard for their lives. There were even people who directly entered the World's End near-at-hand array. At this moment, 2 attacks were sent towards the dark red divine dragon. One of them was even sent in. Ah, that's great. This was a random teleportation. As long as we try a few more times, we will definitely be able to enter. That elder roared madly. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he mercilessly struck out with his palm. Damn snake, go to hell for me. They had gone crazy. They could not accept the fact that their holy son had been killed. Therefore they vented all their anger and killing intent on the dark red divine dragon. This scene stunned all the surrounding martialists. Even the dark red divine dragon did not expect that the other party could be randomly teleported to its side. The probability was too small. The person who was teleported was an elder. He was a peerless almighty. At this moment, his body was filled with killing intent that pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. That piercing aura seemed to be able to destroy the entire world. Feeling this killing intent, the surrounding martial artists felt their scalps go numb. Sure enough, these 9 heavens holy ground people were going crazy. How could an ordinary peerless almighty exude such a terrifying killing intent? Boundless light surged, and a violent force was about to swallow the dark red divine dragon and the 3 Immortal Palace martial artists. The 3 Immortal Palace martial artists felt their scalps go numb. They thought that they were young geniuses, but under such a terrifying killing intent, they had no way to fight back. They felt the void around them freeze, and the energy in their bodies was also frozen. They could not resist at all. The dark red divine dragon roared, and the dragon's roar turned into a sound wave that surged forward to fight back. The sky fell and the earth cracked. At the same time he swung his dragon tail, and a red river slashed out like a heavenly blade. Ping ping ping. An earth-shattering sound rang out, and the 2 forces of energy dissipated in the sky at the same time. Seeing this, the surrounding crowd was in an uproar. The 9 heavens holy ground people were stunned, and so were the 5 elements palace and myriad thunder holy ground people. The elder of the 9 heavens holy ground had gone crazy and struck out a shocking blow, but he still could not do anything to the other party. One had to admit that the other party was too strong. Its strength was probably not comparable to these holy sons and elders. Damn it, what kind of species is this? A variant of the heavens and earth? The myriad thunder saint's face was gloomy, and the 5 elements saint's eyes were like divine lamps. It seemed like it was indeed a variant of the heavens and earth. Thinking about it, it should have some kind of powerful flood dragon bloodline. Otherwise his physique would not be so strong. So what if he had the flood dragon bloodline? Today he provoked us, so he must die. Go to hell. Just as the 2 holy sons were talking, the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground and the dark red divine dragon were still exchanging close to 100 blows, and the surrounding area was shattered. There was not a single spot in the void of the entire main hall that was intact. Damn it, do you really think that I am a pushover? The dark red divine dragon was also angry. It waved its dragon claws and formed 2 arrays that overlapped, protecting the 3 martial artists of the Immortal Palace. At the same time, its body swayed, and it turned into a giant dragon, roaring as it charged out. The dragons used their grand super skills, and countless red lights in the sky were like red swords, fighting against the dark red divine dragon. After another 300 blows, the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground screamed as half of his body was smashed by the dark red divine dragon's claws. Blood mist filled the air, and the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground screamed as he retreated frantically. He entered the black quicksand and was teleported out. He did not appear in the main hall and no one knew where he was. But soon a roar came from afar. The elder with half of his body came out from a passage, and the half of his body had already recovered. His face was incomparably pale. Damn it! The elder roared crazily. He did not expect that with his peerless strength and the 9 heavens holy ground's unique skill, he would not be able to defeat the other party. In the distance, the people of the Five Elements Palace and the myriad Thunder Saints' eyes lit up. They had finally found a way to kill the other party. Hurry up. Everyone get into the black quicksand. Although it was a random teleportation, there was still a certain probability that they would be teleported to the other party. As long as they were near the other party, they would immediately kill them. Chapter 25:11. He had to use all of his trump cards. The Five Elements Saint and the Myriad Thunder Saint gave the order. The Nine Heavens Holy Ground's elder roared, and everyone from the Nine Heavens Holy Ground rushed over. On the other side, the people from the Five Elements Palace and the Myriad Thunder Holy Ground also rushed over. They were continuously transported by the black quicksand. However, after many attempts, 3 of the Almighties finally arrived near the dark red divine dragon. Not good. Lord Dragon, be careful. In the array behind, the 3 immortal palace martial artists were scared out of their wits when they saw this scene. If the 3 of them worked together, they could probably even kill a saint. Therefore, at this moment, the dark red divine dragon was in absolute danger. As expected, the dark red divine dragon was pushed back as soon as they exchanged blows. Fuck. This emperor is in so much pain. The dark red divine dragon rolled in the sky and bared his teeth. His eyes emitted a bloody light, and his body was overflowing with killing intent. With a swing of his tail, the 3 immortal palace martial artists were sent into the black quicksand. At the same time he said, "Hurry up and leave. Teleport out. Don't stay here." The 3 immortal palace martial artists entered the black quicksand and were completely teleported out, disappearing from the main hall. Seeing this, the martial artists of the 3 holy lands roared out in anger. Damn. Don't let me be teleported too. They struck out layers of light, and the 3 king domains floated in the air, completely sealing the space where the dark red divine dragon was. Damn it, do you really think that I can't do anything to you? Seeing the 3 immortal palace martial artists eyeing him covetously, the dark red divine dragon was furious. He was a dignified dragon. When had he ever been beaten like this? In the next moment he spat out a mouthful of dragon blood. The dragon blood turned into a sharp sword and flew out instantly. Poof. An elder from the Five Elements Palace screamed. His body was penetrated and a terrifying bloody hole appeared. His internal organs were all shattered. However, this elder was a great sage after all. Although the injury was serious, it was not fatal. Whoosh. The elder from the Five Elements Palace retreated. The power of the Five Elements Palace rolled in his body, and his internal organs were instantly regenerated. However, his face was incomparably pale, and his eyes were filled with fear. Damn it. Be careful. This guy is too evil. The surrounding martial artists were also stunned. A mouthful of blood was enough to severely injure a peerless almighty. Heavens, what kind of blood is this? God's blood? The other 2 almighties wore solemn expressions. They shot out countless beams of light. Among them, the almighty from the 9 heavens holy ground shot out a pagoda with 9 floors. Floating in the sky, thousands of rays of light shone down and enveloped the dark red divine dragon. The old man from the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land was wearing a thunder battle robe. Terrifying lightning covered the entire sky. The elder of the Five Elements Palace took out a large amount of elixirs and swallowed them. His pale complexion also became rosy. Boom! A 5-colored cauldron rushed out of his body and floated in front of him. Then he attacked again. The 3 experts besieged the dark red dragon once again. For a moment, the dark red divine dragon was in danger. Even if he was a dragon, even if he was an old monster, he was still forced to retreat. However, this was already shocking enough. Because if an ordinary almighty was surrounded by 3 experts of the same level, he would probably be killed very quickly. However, the dark red divine dragon had persisted for so long and was still not killed. One had to admit that it was indeed shocking. However, everyone knew that it was only a matter of time before he was killed. Unless reinforcements arrived. However, would the people from the Immortal Palace really come? It had been so many days, but they had not come. Perhaps they did not even know what had happened here. Damn snake, go to hell. The elder of the 9 heavens holy land roared. The 9-story pagoda above his head turned into a towering mountain and pressed down. On the other side, the elder of the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land formed streaks of heavenly tribulation and thunder and blasted down. The powerhouse of the 5 Elements Palace activated the 5-colored cauldron and directly smashed through the void. He wanted to suck the dark red divine dragon into the cauldron. The dark red divine dragon could not dodge the 3 ultimate moves at all. He roared and sent the five-colored cauldron flying. At the same time he relied on his strong body to resist the thunder that filled the sky. However, he could not resist the last 9 floors of the pagoda. It was about to envelop him. Go to hell, snake. Seeing this, the elder of the 9 heavens holy land turned solemn. The surrounding powerhouses of the 9 heavens holy land laughed wildly. Their eyes were filled with blood-red light, and they looked like demons. At this moment, a sword light appeared and directly slashed the 9-story pagoda. With a clang, the 9-story pagoda was sent flying. What? It was blocked. The surrounding martial artists exclaimed. Old Jiang of the 9 heavens holy land even took a few steps back. He stopped and shouted coldly. Who is it? How dare you interfere in my business? Get over here and die. He was really crazy. How dare someone interfere in the current situation? Who is so reckless? I think you should be the one getting over here and die. A cold voice sounded. The void split open and a young figure descended. What? Damn kid. It's you. Seeing this, the elder of the 9 heavens holy land was stunned. The surrounding martial artists of the 5 elements palace and 10,000 thunder holy land all looked over. In the next moment they were all stunned. Lin Xian. It's you. Ah, kid, I wanted to kill you. I didn't expect you to take the initiative to come to me. The elder of the 5 elements palace laughed loudly. The people of 10,000 thunder holy land snorted coldly. Seems like you didn't take the path to heaven and barged into hell instead. Since you're here today, don't even think about leaving. Kid, I'll tear you to pieces. The people of the 9 heavens holy land were even more murderous. The 4 powerhouses in the sky descended and surrounded Lin Xian. To be honest, they were too excited. They did not expect the murderer of their holy son to be here. Below, the dark red dragon heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Lin Xian. He quickly took out some treasures and swallowed them. At the same time, his body swayed and he appeared in the sky. Kid, be careful. These guys from the 9 heavens holy land are crazy. Their holy son was killed by someone and now they suspect you? Destroyed. I did split him in half with my sword. Lin Xian admitted it directly. Hearing this, the surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. The dark red dragon explained, no, after you split him, someone else killed him. This time his body and soul were destroyed. Someone else killed him? Hearing this, Lin Xian was stunned. He did not expect so many things to happen while he was in seclusion. Jiuxiao Seiko was really killed. A holy son had fallen just like that. This was indeed a big deal. No wonder the people of the 9 heavens holy land were so crazy. However, what did this have to do with him? This Jiuxiao Seiko is really unlucky. Lin Xian sneered. Chapter 25:12. Ah! The elders screamed. Damn kid, don't try to deny it. You killed our holy son. Today we must kill you. We will use your blood to pay tribute to our holy son. We must catch you, skin you alive and send you to the 18th level of hell. Never. Kill him. Avenge our holy son. The martial artists of the 9 heavens sacred ground roared. The people of the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder sacred ground also gathered around. Kid, looks like you are going to die today. I don't know what kind of hatred you have for Jiuxiao Seiko to kill him. The 5 elements saint said coldly. The myriad thunder saint sneered. Yeah. Can't we talk it out? Why do you have to kill him? The 2 of them were very sinister. Although they did not know who did it, they had already identified Lin Xian as the murderer. This way they could kill him together with the 9 heavens sacred ground. Fuck. You 2 are so shameless. Which eye of yours saw us do it? The dark red divine dragon scolded. These 2 holy sons are too sinister. He wished he could cook them and eat them. Lin Xian's face darkened as he stared coldly at the 5 elements saint and the myriad thunder saint. I will say it again. I did not kill Jiuxiao Seiko. But the 2 of you might be killed by me on the spot. Lin Xian did have the intention to kill the 5 elements saint and the myriad thunder saint. The 2 of them had gone against him time and time again. Did they really think he would not kill them? Don't try to deny it. You killed him. Admit your guilt. The myriad thunder saint and the 5 elements saint sneered. Kid, go to hell. The elders of the 9 heavens holy ground roared out in anger as dozens of them struck out together. The sky was filled with light and exploded in front of them. There were so many experts. No one among the Almighties would be able to resist them, let alone the holy sons. Lin Xian did not resist. His body shook as he used the demigods and semidevils to dodge in the sky. After the breakthrough, his speed had increased tremendously compared to before. Coupled with the heaven-defying speed of the demigods and semidevils, he was able to move faster than before. For a moment, his figure was erratic, and his speed was beyond the imagination of these people. What a fast speed! The martial artists around them exclaimed. They discovered that such a violent power had actually failed to hit the other party and had allowed him to escape. 5 Elements Seal. Myriad Thunder Purgatory. The 5 Elements Saint Sun and the Myriad Thunder Saint Sun used 2 sealing mystic abilities to completely seal the entire hall. They would never allow him to escape. So what if you did? I don't believe that you can hide forever. The 2 saints sneered the Holy Sun and the Holy Sons of the 9 Heavens' sacred ground. Their gazes were like heavenly blades that pierced through all directions. There. Soon they locked onto Lin Xian again. Brat, you have to pay with your life for killing my holy son. Lin Xian was infuriated as well. He sneered, you said I killed him? Then I'll take it that I killed him. So what if I killed him? Speaking of this, an extremely violent aura exploded from his body. It was like a storm sweeping in all directions. Once this aura appeared, the surrounding people trembled, and a look of fear appeared in their eyes. What a terrifying aura. How can this kid be so strong? The 5 Elements Saint and the Myriad Thunder Saint were even more shocked. Impossible. How did his aura become stronger again? The 2 of them were crazy because they realized that the other party's aura was on par with theirs. But now the other party's aura had surpassed theirs. How could this be? Damn it, where did this brat go during the time that he disappeared? Could it be that he had a fortuitous encounter? Cries of surprise rang out. The dark red divine dragon also exclaimed, Kid, you broke through? Yes. Lin Xian nodded. He pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword and pointed it forward. You won't let me go? You killed my immortal palace's disciple and trapped my companion. Now you want to kill me? Do you think I will let you go? Come, let's see who will die first. His cold voice was accompanied by countless rays of sword light. At this moment he was like a sword god that everyone looked up to. So what if you've become stronger? We have so many people. It's easy to kill you. The 5 Elements Saint said coldly. The Myriad Thunder Saint gritted his teeth. Damn it. He broke through in such a short time. They were jealous. Kill. The martial artists from the 9 Heavens' sacred ground were even crazier. Indeed, so what if he had become stronger? They had so many people. Would they be afraid of him? Swoosh, swoosh. Several elders from the 9 Heavens' sacred ground charged forward. Boom. A dazzling palm covered the sky like countless clouds. It carried with it an unparalleled divine aura and slammed down from the sky. When this force came out, everyone's scalps went numb. It was too violent. The 4 elders were enough to destroy everything. No one present would be able to fight against them. Buzz. Looking at this terrifying attack, Lin Xian's eyes shone sharply. The sword chi on his body shone brighter and brighter, constantly rising. Swoosh. His body was like a flickering shadow, quickly dodging the sharp palm. At the same time he appeared in another space. Whoosh. The ancient dragon abyss sword was swung, as if a giant dragon was roaring. Boom. This ray of sword light enveloped one of the elders. A blood-curdling scream was heard and blood spurted out. The elder who was enveloped by the sword light was cut in half. However, he did not die immediately. His miserable scream reverberated, and his internal organs and blood stained the void red. What? He was cut in half by a sword. Another sword. Everyone was stunned. That elder was a peerless almighty. He was extremely powerful. However, he was cut in half by Lin Xian's sword. The eyelids of the 5 Elements Palace and the Myriad Thunder Sacred Grounds martial artists twitched wildly. The people from the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground screamed. This was impossible. How could he be so powerful? That was not his trump card. It was just a casual ray of sword light, and it split one of their elders. No. They could not believe it. On the battlefield, the other 3 elders from the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground were also facing a formidable enemy. They quickly retreated. They came to the side of the elder who was cut in half, wanting to save him first. Buzz. A golden rune appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. In the next moment, the elder who was cut in half screamed again. His body, which had originally healed, kept rolling in the sky. His aged face was contorted in disbelief. Not good, a soul attack. The expressions of the remaining 3 elders changed drastically. Such a strange method, perhaps only a soul attack could do it. Damn it. Save him. They struck out with unparalleled magical power and poured it into the old man's body, wanting to save him. However, the elder's neck tilted, and he was no longer breathing. Dead. A peerless almighty was killed just like that. Everyone was stunned. What kind of method was this? This was too heaven-defying. Chapter 25:13. Damn it, how could this kid be so strong? This scene made the faces of the Five Elements Saint and the Myriad Thunder Saint turn dark. Their hearts raced. The one who was killed was an early 8-star saint. Even they would have to put in a lot of effort to kill him. However, his opponent had effortlessly killed him with 2 moves. This was shocking. Damn it. Little Xian, you're amazing. Behind them, the dark red divine dragon cried out in surprise when it saw this scene. But soon he laughed wildly. Ah, awesome. This is awesome. Who asked you to be so arrogant? Damn it, kill them all. A strange voice rang in the sky. Everyone was silent, completely stunned. The people from the 9 heavens sacred ground were even more shocked. Soon they came to their senses. Damn it, this kid is too strong. Attack together, don't give him a chance. Attack together? Do you think you can keep up with my speed? Lin Xian kept changing his position in the sky. Every time he appeared, these people would exclaim. He was too fast, so fast that their souls couldn't keep up. How could they fight? If the other party kept moving at high speed, they wouldn't even be able to touch the corner of his clothes. At this moment, the people from the 9 heavens sacred ground were extremely sullen. They thought that they could avenge their saint today, but they didn't expect the situation to turn out like this. The people from the 5 elements palace and the Myriad Thunder sacred ground were also solemn. However, they didn't retreat. This was because they felt that the other party was too terrifying. They had to kill him today. Otherwise, if the other party continued to grow, he would be a great enemy of the 3 great sage sacred grounds. Everyone, don't hold back anymore. If you have any trump cards, use them all. The 5 elements saint said coldly. The aura on his body also erupted rapidly, and a 5 elements mountain appeared above his head. Today he would definitely die. The Myriad Thunder Saint took a step forward, and a purple sea of lightning formed around his body. Use the heavenly palace. The few elders of the 9 heavens holy ground retreated one after another. They gathered together and struck out a series of hand seals. Whoosh! The heavenly palace that originally belonged to Jiuxiao Seiko floated in the sky, emitting thousands of rays of light. It was as if it had really fallen from the immortal realm into the human world. A shocking force burst out from his body. Everyone watching felt their scalps go numb. What the hell is this? Wasn't this Jiuxiao Seiko's divine ability? No, Jiuxiao Seiko was already dead, but this immortal palace was still here. This was definitely not Jiuxiao Seiko's sacred art. This must be one of the treasures of the 9 heavens holy ground. Precious treasure? Are you saying that Jiuxiao Seiko possessed an extremely terrifying weapon and was killed by someone? Heavens, who was it that did it? No wonder the people from the 9 heavens holy ground didn't believe him. The surrounding people exclaimed and discussed animatedly. There were all sorts of speculations in their hearts. The people of the 9 heavens holy ground were indeed aggrieved. The immortal palace in their hands was a precious treasure of the Holy Land. It could be said to be incomparably terrifying. Even if Jiuxiao Seiko encountered a terrifying enemy, no one below invincible kings would be able to break out of the immortal palace. However, why had their holy son been killed? They couldn't figure it out at all. In the sky, immortal light blossomed with incomparable brilliance as the mysterious door slowly opened. A terrifying aura was emitted from his body. Feeling this aura, everyone's face changed and they kept retreating. It was too terrifying. This aura could kill everyone. Lin Xian's face was also solemn. He never dared to be careless when facing the immortal palace. His body swayed and the dragon sword realm appeared beside him, wrapping him up and turning into the shadow of an azure dragon. However, at this time, the 5 elements red and the 1,000 thunder holy lands trump cards were also displayed. His sword light that filled the sky dimmed. Seeing this, Lin Xian snorted. Competing with trump cards? Do you think you're the only ones with trump cards? Buzz. Boom. A golden light appeared in the sky and a white bone floated. An extremely violent aura spread out in all directions. Boom. 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 The immortal palace trembled and the 5 elements mountain shook. The lightning in the sky dimmed. The entire sky couldn't bear it and countless cracks appeared. The surrounding martial artists vomited blood and were sent flying. Damn it. What was that? They were going crazy. A small bone in the sky could emit such an aura. Did it have to be so terrifying? A sage. This belonged to a sage. Damn it, he actually had such a thing. The elders of the Five Elements Palace screamed. The people of the Thousand Thunder Holy Land also felt their scalps go numb. The people of the Nine Heavens Holy Land were even more shocked. How could they resist a sage's item? Everyone, don't panic. He's just a small powerhouse. How could he fully unleash the power of a sage? If he unleashed it, he would probably be destroyed in both body and soul. Therefore, although the sage's bone was powerful, it wasn't impossible to resist. The Five Elements Saint said coldly. Hearing this, everyone quieted down. Indeed, so what if it was a sage's item? If it couldn't unleash its full power, it would be useless. Although they didn't have a sage's item, they could unleash the full power of their trump cards. In this way, it wasn't impossible to block the sage's bone. Sure enough, in the sky, the three great sages' trump cards blocked the sage's aura. Seeing this scene, the three great sages' people heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian sneered. This scene was completely within his plan. What he wanted to do was to block these people's trump cards. As for killing these people, he would do it himself. Lin Xian's figure flickered as he charged over like a flickering shadow. The dragon sword realm above his head covered the entire sky. Thousands of sword chi flew out like a rain of swords, enveloping everyone in front of him. Courting death. Those people were furious. How dare the other party challenge the three great sages' powerhouses alone? Too arrogant. Too arrogant. They fought back crazily. Behind them, the dark red dragon also charged forward. It opened its mouth and spat out 7 to 8 killing arrays. At the same time, the dragon swung its tail and rushed into the crowd to kill. Whoosh! A mouthful of dragon flames was spat out and many people screamed. The dark red dragon was like an old monster, rampaging through the world. He had been too aggrieved before. Now that he seized this opportunity, how could he not fight back? In an instant, a great battle broke out in the sky. Whoosh! In an instant, Lin Xian appeared near the Nine Heavens holy ground and slashed out with the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand. Ping ping ping. Clang. The sound of an intense collision rang out. Those Nine Heavens holy ground martial artists fought back. In the end, their weapons were instantly cut into pieces. Damn it. Not good. Heaven Clash treasure. These people's scalps went numb as they frantically retreated. So what if it's a Heaven Clash treasure? I have one too. An elder roared, holding a long spear in his hand and charged forward. With a clang, it collided with the ancient dragon abyss sword, and a bright light burst out. The world shook and many people were sent flying. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.